Hello and welcome everybody back once again to another Monday GT4 Championship stream, and we are back. We have the rookies and we have the open tonight, and we are at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. I'm Mike Nause, and joined alongside me tonight is none other than the Saagar Bakshi. Saagar, how are you doing on this fine evening here at Zandvoort?
I'm living the dream, and I'm excited for the GT4 rookies. We've got the A to W of drivers tonight. We've got Pedro Artoni all the way down to John Wad in our registration list right now, and the 18 drivers are just taking to qualifying. I'm excited how they get around the Zandvoort circuit, known for its Formula One racing.
Absolutely, and welcome everybody in chat as well. Adam Strange dropping 2 bits already at the beginning of the stream. Welcome Adam, welcome Karu, and welcome everybody that is to come. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Ran a poll between Superman, Taylor Swift, Charles Leclerc, and Pato Ward. Superman has large lead, followed by Charles Leclerc with Pato Ward in last place. Very fascinating statistics there, Adam Strange. I'm not completely sure what to do with that information, but I now have that in the dome piece. We got Squashmonger giving us the pre-race hydration. Let's caffeinate up here, shall we?
Thank you very much for that hydrate.
I can do a little Bane voice as well with my water bottle, but no, we will not be doing that. Welcome as well on YouTube. Sasha joining us over on that side. We are going to be getting into it very, very shortly, but before that, I am going to have to mention the mandatory, calendar that we have ahead of us here. And of course, it's coming down to a close. We have the next season going to be announced very soon. So head on over to the Discord, !Discord, to find more information about more future leagues here coming up in the next year. We also have, of course, though, more races to come in the fun races with some at the end of the month. But on that, we have the Nürburgring for the GT4 rookies. That'll be next week. We're here at Zandvoort. The finals are coming. We're in the penultimate round here this week. We also have the finals at Zandvoort this week with West Coast Wednesday. That'll be Saagar hosting that one on the 45-minute sprint for the finals. And the GT3s are going to be taking over to the Hungaroring next week for their final race as well. Spooky Suzuki, the livery contest, is coming up on the 30th. I would highly recommend getting involved with that if you are a livery connoisseur and want to get more recognition, more showing off of the beautiful paints that you guys make, because I know so many people put so much work into it, and we want to display that. If you have a fun livery, a spooky livery, something of that nature, submit it and get on involved with the contest. It's a 45-minute race on top of it, but we have a vote in play that we will be announcing a little bit later for more information. Of course, we also have the Sun Sprint at Zandvoort and Flooded Silverstone, 2 one-off races that I highly recommend checking out, all available over on SimGrid. Link in chat, link in the description if you are on YouTube. And a massive thank you as well to all of our patrons, the V12 Exotics and the V8 Muscles and Inline 4s, and of course anybody that supports the server in any way, shape, and or form, even if you are but even if you are a Twitch subscriber or a donor of any form. If you're just a viewer, thank you so much. Follower of any sort, you guys make what we do here possible, and we appreciate it beyond words. Now, though, Saagar, I think it is time that we head on down to the in-game here, Zandvoort, and see the rookies out on circuit.
Yeah, let's take to seeing what the drivers can produce for their qualifying. Right now, at the top of the charts, it's Dr. Porkchop, and then followed by Alejandro Pelgarin with a 146.250. But Dr. Porkchop holding on to that fastest lap. That 145.7 is going to be hard to beat here in those GT4 cars. Wade Georgeson, Jeff Franks, John Watts, Stefano Rinaldi, Igor Caro, Vicente Morera, Phil Lee, and Matthew Jayasuria are going to be in the top 10 right now. I'm looking forward to seeing how some of the new names do tonight. And Mike, why don't you let us know what all these DSQs are about this evening?
Yeah, so anyone curious, first off, welcome to Slez Live, and welcome to Azul Martin in chat as well. Hope you guys are having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. But the DSQs, let's explain those here briefly. And that is, of course, because in a previous session, the drivers did something egregious, some might say. Some might use less aggressive words, but either way, they were involved in an incident that cost them a penalty on the first lap, more than likely. And that penalty is a disqualification disqualification from the qualifying session. So they'll be allowed to race. However, they are not going to be allowed to set a time out in quali here tonight. And that will be for the respective race that they receive that qualifying in. So race 1 or race 2. And Azul Martin, thank you. Marin, thank you so much for the follow as well. And Adam, thank you for the bit as well. My goodness.
The poll had 550 votes, so a decent poll, so the results reflect the general population or something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. I was going to ask you in what context that poll was also done in, but maybe we'll have to get to that offline. Right now, we've got some qualifications going on as Alejandro Pulgarin has a little bit of a moment there coming through the final chicane right before the start-finish line, and yellow flags will be waiting for him as he warps back to the pits to try to finish things off. Hello, Mario Jr. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for participating. Actually, I don't see you participating. Where are you?
I think it'll be out in the open a little bit later on tonight.
But Mario Jr. is in second place in this championship, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're right. Penalty has pen in his... Oh my goodness.
Mario Jr. is in second place in this championship, and if he sits this one out right now, this might be Aaron Silva's race to walk away with. He's leading the championship right now with 450 points to his name, a drop round of an 8 round, so he'll have to do worse than that to get another drop round added to his registration. But Mario Jr. is in second place with 438 points, and in third place is Alex Hansen, the Porsche that's been performing very well, but I don't see Mr. Hansen here tonight either.
Ooh, and so update there on Mario. He no longer has a wheel currently, sold the G29 and is waiting for the Camus to arrive. What is...
Ooh.
Is that a brand? I'm unfamiliar with that.
I'm unfamiliar with that brand as well, and actually I'm corrected. Alex Hansen is here tonight. He's just facing a disqualification from qualifying, so he will have to be working his way from the back of the grid, just like Aaron Silva will be, our championship leader right now, sitting in front with those 450 points. I will say Aaron Silva's been performing well, but he's been a little inconsistent, especially with these DSQs in the qualifying rounds for him. Working his way back from the back of the grid towards the front has not done his points well for this championship. Otherwise, he'd be walking away with it right now. So a little bit more patience, or a little bit more tenacity, let's say, and we'll help him out a little bit.
You know, I think it is just down to the fact that we are in a rookie championship after all, and people make rookie mistakes here and that's accepted. And at the end of the day, it's not about the points that you receive. It's about the journey that you had the entire time. And, you know, we're not really looking for the points championship here in the rookies here tonight. We're more focusing on the improvement that we've had over the season. And, you know, Aaron Silva looking to not start the final race off next week with the DSQ. I think that'd be a really good shot for him just as a goal, rather than trying to go for the gold, go for the win. You know, try to set little micro objectives along the way and just achieve greater things in that manner. Because if you can just always be a better version of yourself, that's what we're here for the rookies at the end of the day, is just trying to improve. We're not trying to become an esports driver right away. So, you know, that's why we have these DSQ systems in place, is to kind of try to incentivize people to not get into lap 1 incidents and whatnot. But unfortunately, you know, people are aggressive sometimes, and that is what it is.
That's all nice and fluffy, Mike Nause, but I play for keeps. I play for keeps, Mike Nause. I'm here to become part of Team Redline. How are they going to find me? How is Max Verstappen going to find me and put me on Team Redline if I'm not racing at the front? Of course, I'm just joking. Go Limit Road Racing, go Brazil. Mike Nause has got to turn his earphones down after I just bled him out a little bit there.
My headset falls off my head. Anytime you see me do that, it's because my headset is falling off the back of my head and I'm trying to put it back on because I don't want to smush the front of my hair. You got to look decent for camera, you know? At least as decent as I can. I know I have the face of a guy on radio, but it is what it is. Squashmonger asking, did I fix my internet issues from last night? We'll see. They fixed themselves last night after I gave them a kick in the butt from my phone, where I went on the, you know, old ringer, and they sent a little service over that said, oh, your internet's all good now. And so it was after that. But beyond that, you know, who knows? We'll find out tonight, shall we? And hope for the best.
What's going on, Midwest FPS? What's going on, Neil Kabuki, Neil Kerbal? Yes, I take what I can and give nothing back. That's the Pirates code, absolutely. Me and Mike are both pirates in that respect.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not sure I'm fully of that nature, but, you know, I can respect the grind and I respect the hustle at the end of the day. So, oh, speaking of hustle, Alejandro Bulgarin loops it round, putting a tire a little too deep in the grass there. An immediate return to the garage. He's sitting on the pole position for now, and it looks like he is going to retain that for at least the foreseeable future. We have well, I was going to say, actually, what am I saying? 0.3033 is the gap from Jaeger Karu, so there's some stiff competition for Alejandro here tonight.
Yeah, really is very exciting, I should say. Alejandro Bulgarin walked away with it at Bathurst a couple weeks ago, and now Jaeger Karu throwing his name into the mix, as well as Dr. Porkchop putting in the practice. Hopefully the lap guide video that we've watched with none other than Amadeo Castorino, of course, is the cause and effect for everybody getting their speed beneath them. Of course, Zandvoort, one of the more exciting tracks here with an elevation change of only around 29 feet, surprisingly. Little fun fact for you is that this place has less elevation change than Paul Ricard, which is almost hard to believe, I will say.
More than Indy, less than Paul Ricard. Somewhere in the middle, you know? It's got a... in my opinion, it doesn't have enough. It's still a fairly flat track. Pretty much all the elevation in Zandvoort is here, or in the Netherlands, excuse me, is here. Obviously, a very flat country, as a lot of people do know. And also, I just wanted to point out, Sano Suki, great point as well. I mean, yeah, it's just about learning. You know, that's about learning the pressure, learning the brakes. And again, that's why, you know, Saagar mentioning the videos that we post every single Tuesday with Amadeo Castorino in the track guides that Saagar has been absolutely smashing lately with Amadeo. And it has, you know, I'm hoping the rookies have been watching that. I've always been trying to tell them on the streams, make sure you watch learn how to race. You know, we don't just teach you the track guide, we teach you little pointers as well as, you know, racing tips, as well as just a track guide and learning how to drive a car, because it's not easy what we're trying to do at the end of the day. This is one of those things that's very easy to learn and hard as all could be to master.
And AV6 Scott says, Paul Ricard has an elevation change. What we found out recently during the pre-race broadcast was that Paul Ricard has an elevation change of around a 1/4 inch per foot, meaning down the Maestro straight, it gains all about 100 feet that elevation change endures. And then it comes back down very slowly through Sector 3, and then right back up through the Maestro Straight again. So may not feel like elevation change like Laguna Seca, where it's just a 6-story drop, but there is very small elevation change. And yeah, it's mostly flat though.
And Ryan Conlon, to answer your question, here is Jaeger Karu coming down the start, finish straight, and currently feeling quite a bit of jubilation. He's sitting on pole position right now as he tackles the elevation, and as he goes through these corners with trials and tribulations, he might be feeling some exaltation. I hope that helps.
He's feeling some good vibrations. He's giving them excitations. Bop, bop. Good vibrations. I shouldn't have done that.
Leave that one for the clip. Just let it simmer. Okay. And
Jaeger Karu leads with a 145.335 over Alejandro Bulgarin's 145.432. And is Bulgarin out on track? He is out on track in that 444, trying to best his compatriot of Jaeger Karu. Dr. Porkchop sitting 4/10 off the pace, but sitting in the pits right now, perhaps not feeling like he can do anything to improve. Vicente Morera is out there looking to improve by a little bit. He's down on this current lap right now by 2/10, but hopefully gaining some time through the final sector, hopefully.
Vincent Morera running in 4th position right now, looking to improve, but not quite finding it in the... at the moment. And yes, Potts Weaver, that is in fact the truth, that yes, half of the field is in fact quali banned. We need to work on the standards, that's for sure, but Zandvoort, we'll see as we go barreling into Tarzan. Fun fact about the word... What?
Derision.
I've never heard that word before. Okay, Saagar, I'll leave that one to you, to be completely honest. I'm a little stumped on that. Go Limit
I'm gonna
Road.
have to do some quick Googling to make sure I don't sound like a fool. Not that that's hard to do, but I'll have to get back to you on the fun fact.
We'll be keeping an eye in the meantime here on Yayasuria, I think is how you would maybe say that. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Apologies, Matthew. In the R25 Sim Sport car, heading to the line now for any improvement. No, it was an invalid lap that time. He is going to have one more shot around these dunes to try to set the fastest lap he can. We also have, Alejandro Pulgarin trying to challenge for the fastest lap at the moment. He's going to be the next driver to finish. And as it stands in that middle sector now, going down the back stretch where the DRS is active in the Formula 1 cars, but we obviously do not have that in the GT4s. Into the back chicane he will find, trying to gain a bit here, 2/10 up, and he was disqualified. Not fully sure what happened on that one. Was he an odd plate? Was he an even plate out with odds? No, definitely not, because Jaeger's out there. Don't really know what we just saw, but he was going to set the fastest lap, so Alejandro Pulgarin disqualified.
Oh, perhaps that was a disqualification from qualifying for staying out too long during Bathurst. Because during the Bathurst event, he was staying out for longer than necessary and took away pole position from Alex Hansen in race number 1, if I remember correctly. Obviously, we only have one qualifying session, but that's the way it looked on my screen, so I believe that's what had happened. And I just figured out what derision meant, and I feel like I am met with derision constantly from Adam Strange questioning my knowledge of derision.
There we go. Use it in a sentence for 500, please. YouTube chat is very delayed. Yes, I do apologize on that, and that is mainly because we have subtitles available on YouTube. We try to appeal to all of the audiences we can, including the people that don't want to have volume on while they're working. I know there's a couple people like that, as well as some of the viewers that don't speak perfect English. They like to read the subtitles in English because that kind of helps them out a little bit more as well. So we do apologize for the delay on the YouTube side of things, but like I said, we got other benefits on YouTube if you're interested in that way. So
what are the other benefits, Mike Nause?
Well, I just said them. What do you mean?
What are the other anyways?
What do you mean for Twitch? You can get less delay. What are the other benefits? You can watch
like YouTube Shorts, funny content.
Oh, there you go. Great plug, Saagar. So just take the plug. It's all you.
The other benefits of subscribing to the YouTube channel is you get first notifications for all of the shorts that get posted out onto the YouTube social media platforms, and as well as the Instagram notifications. Make sure you like, subscribe, and watch all of the shorts that we have available from Tracklicious. Most likely we'll be pumping out some every single week, and it'll be filled with tons of clippable action that we see here at Tracklicious.
Absolutely. And speaking of that action, Saagar, why don't we get on in here and meet our drivers for tonight? Starting us off at the top, Jaeger Karu, the 920 Jaeger Prime AMG, topping the time charts with Dr. Porkchop alongside the number 71 on the front row in second. Vincent Morera, third quickest tonight for Brazil, with Wade George and company for him in the 6-star racing in fourth position. Phil Lee coming home in fifth for the Irish, the Porsche number 79, alongside Jeff Franks tonight running in sixth position, with Matthew Yayasuria for company in seventh. John Wad, eighth in the running for the number 95 McLaren, alongside Stefano Rinaldi in the TF Sports. The Italian Stallion running in the third for ninth for the number 3. Alejandro Pulgarin rounding out the first of your disqualifiers tonight, and 10th position overall.
Aaron Silva in the number 57 is in 11th place for us here for the Limit Road Racing Team. Pedro Artoni also in the Limit Road Racing Team in the 997 Chevy Camaro, and he's in 12th position. Luke Nelson will be starting from the pit lane in the number 33 in 13th position. Alex Hansen in the number 390 in 14th position in that Porsche, third in the championship right now. Then we've got Jacob Curtis from FNM Fear Nothing Moto team in the number 68, almost nice, in 15th place. Jacob Curtis from FNM, excuse me. Then we already got to Spady Bud in the 221 in 16th place in a spiffy Camaro. In the 996, it's RL Brown rocking an AMG for Coach Dave Academy, and he is starting from the pits as well. Then we've got RL Brown, Colin Sugg, excuse me, in the number 34 for the Slug Racing team in 18th position.
And that is our grid for the night. 18 drivers to tackle the circuit, and they are underway. And Sles Live, thank you very much. It is Jay Asuria. Which, my apologies, that is, I went for the African pronunciation despite the fact that it was a Singapore flag. I gambled and I was wrong. My apologies, but thank you for correcting me on that. Wilson has a stomachache, so won't be running today. That's unfortunate. I hope he feels well. And welcome. It's not orange, John Watt. It's papaya. Yes, papaya rules indeed.
Papaya rules, and hopefully that's not what Wilson is dealing with as well. That would be nice to avoid. Hi, Mike. Hope you're doing well, regardless of our rainy days. So, Stefan Buckley, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Glad that put a smile on Mike Nause's face.
It has been rainy. It has been very, very rainy lately. I had one day to go and fly my drone, so that was great. We'll see, though. This week, maybe. We'll see if there's any sun, but it's not looking likely. It was supposed to. The weather said it wasn't going to rain, and then it did anyways. Welcome to Washington, folks. It's the way it goes.
Welcome to Washington. Well, you should always consider moving down to California, where the sales tax is enormous, and the sales tax can even be higher if you start making over a certain amount of money. That means you have a living wage in the area.
I'm not going to get into that, but anyways... thank you very much, Junior XX, for the nice words. Adam Strange as well. Squashmonger, thank you guys for being here. Hope everyone's on a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning. Wherever you are in this fine world, we got Doc Milwee as well joining us here just in time for the start. And the ad break that why don't I just run like a 30-second one right now? That sounds like a good idea. Hopefully that overrides it. That's the goal. We're going to wait, did it work? Yeah, it worked. Okay, there we go. We're going to run a 30-second ad. Apologies to everyone that has to just immediately get added in the middle of that, but they should be back before the checkered flag, so we're chilling.
Coming through turn 11 and turn 12 right now, the drivers are getting set up to come through the final couple of corners and get squared away to take the green flag. The green lights will fall here shortly for all 18 drivers here tonight for our GT4 Rookie Championship. The place where all the drivers are victorious for the education that they earn along the way, as well as the racecraft that they'll develop over the entire season.
Absolutely, and why the ad break is back, I don't know, but oh well. We'll deal with it when the time comes. It's neither here nor there. You guys don't need it now. As it stands, 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. The drivers ready to go for the night. This is going to be race 1 of 2 for the GT4 rookies. We also have the Open a little bit later on as well. Jaeger Karu on pole position with Dr. Porkchop alongside. The drivers getting ready here as all 5 red lights are on, and they approach the tree, and we go green, green, green. Jaeger Karu off to an incredible start. Dr. Porkchop not so. Vincent Moretto's looking down to the inside of Tarzan. Goes full send now. Both of the cars laid on the brakes. Jaeger pretty much, well, looking in his rearview mirror there and panicking briefly, but both of those two still scrapping it out. Dr. Porkchop holding on, though. He closes the door, and Vincent Moretta opens it up with his foot, and immediately after that gets clobbered into the side of, and we have a parking lot forming in the hairpin. Oh my goodness, there is chaos and carnage. And it's continuing on as there's more bumping and banging and everybody getting a little piece of the pie.
Wowza, holy Toledo. That was an interesting start of the race for the race starters, and then not only for the race starters who took the green flag, but then everybody coming out of the pits was also managed to get involved in that one there at turn 4 here at the Zandvoort circuit. but hopefully the drivers will get back up and running in due time. And of course, this is a 20-minute race event, so if they didn't do well in this 20 minutes, they have an entire race to catch back up on.
They certainly do, but you know what, Saagar, I'm expecting of a lot of next week?
More cautions?
More pit starts. I'm expecting quite a few more pit starts, and here we go. The action is not ceasing just yet as Aaron Silva goes a little bit deep onto the back bumper. Still side by side with his other limit road car. That's Pedro Antoni alongside. They go fully going. Oh, goodness. Aaron Silva gets onto the throttle here with Pedro to the inside. They're continuing the side-by-side train. Rule number 1 of racing, don't hit your teammates. And, well, so far so good, but they're going to go 3 wide down the start-finish straight, down towards Tarzan. 3 certainly does not go into 1, but Aaron Silva coming out of that corner like a rocket ship. He does manage to gain the position before the braking zone. And a lovely move from Alex Hansen just to thread the gap to the outside, place his car perfectly, and he gets a 2-for-1 special.
I love the way that Alex Hansen is driving right now. He knows that Aaron Silva is next up in the championship for him. He knows what this all means. He's following in single file line. Not anymore right now as they're going to get boxed in. And there goes the 84 off the track trying to rejoin and goes off the line. And then Alex Hansen, wow, is able to keep the car collected and follow that other car of Aaron Silva through. And they're both up into 7th and 8th right now after starting further down the pack, 11th and 14th for those two drivers. They're up 4 and 6 positions overall. Luke Nelson being a big gainer, and so is Alejandro Pulgarin, who's already found himself a shot of champagne, is up into 3rd place starting from 10th.
Alejandro on the ball despite the fact that he had that disqualification at the end of qualifying. Camaro Squashmonger, that was pretty much exactly the clip that was replaying in my head, I won't lie. Yes, and the Camaro rolls, absolutely. Thankfully, we don't see that one. Not yet, at the very least. The way these drivers have been going at it, it would not surprise me at all. Beyond that, Vincent Morera behind here gaining the position over Pedro Antoni, but both of these cars, well, battered and bruised. Vincent maybe a little bit more so than Pedro. There's a stop-go 30 penalty as well for Luke Nelson. That'll have to be served within the next 3 laps. Chaos is the word that I would use to describe the opening 2 laps here at Zandvoort. Saagar, how about yourself?
Chaos, excitement, and here goes Alex Hansen up the inside of Silva, laid on the brakes there, gets it parked down at the apex, and takes that V line that we've talked about during the track guide, and he executes that one to perfection. Chef's kiss right there.
Very similar execution from Pedro Antoni, it seemed. Getting the job done there with the BMW now in the rearview mirror. He is going to be under firm pressure, though, coming on to this back not so straight. And Dr. Porkchop, a man on a mission. He's going to be looking for vengeance after he closed the gap early on, controversially, and he definitely will be having to take a look back at that one. So will the stewards, to be fair, and exactly who was responsible in Vincent Morera. A bit of a karting line right there, the BMW catching flight only briefly. But Pedro here, he is trying to pull away from his sister car. Or is that a sister, Vincent Morera? No, that is not. That is just the BMW, not the sister car at all. Stefano Rinaldi, though, and Luke Nelson, they're having a bit of a squabble here.
Yeah, more squabbles left, right, and center. 2 AMRs racing it down on each other, and the gap is now just a couple of tenths being separated between these two. It looks like just 3 tenths now separating these two drivers, but it seems awfully closer on track between Stefano Rinaldi and Luke Nelson. But Nelson still has a stop-go 30 to serve, and that'll hurt his chances by quite a bit. Alex Hansen looking to break away, though, on the number 3 car, has got tucked in underneath that rear wing, really setting this one up by taking the long way around, now really working that steering wheel. He's going to switch over to the inside line any second now, once he's close enough, and there it is, a move to the inside line, setting this one up for Tarzan. Will he be late on the brakes again, or is he going to fall in single file line? He is late on the brakes, but will he get the door closed in on him? A little bit there from the number 3, who goes a little deep and wide now once he realized who was there alongside of him. But Alex Hansen makes up that position. 2 moves, 2 laps. Great job.
And Aaron Silva licking his lips behind, trying to clean up the scraps as well, but he's really not finding any pieces of the puzzle. Now, though, he sees a little bit of a weakness there out of the corner from Stefano Rinaldi, picking up some grass on his tires and trying to maneuver his way towards Scheivlock. Oh, no, and there's been a crash from behind as well. I think Vincent Morera has unfortunately gone out. As we head down towards turn 10, the opportunity will open up for Aaron Silva to make a dive bomb to the inside, but he needs to be fully confident. He needs to be close. He's posturing for it. He's lining it up. He has it in his sights. Goes for the move late onto the brakes. Sends it around, manages to secure it. Needs to be, though, confident on the throttle and confident on the turn-in on the next part of the corner. Stefano Rinaldi is fighting back Aaron Silva. Did he close the gap too much there? I certainly think he might have, but he does get the position over Stefano Rinaldi either way. Alex Hansen also having a piece here up ahead. He gets the job done onto Matthew Jayasuriya.
Alex Hansen is chopping it up like chop suey right now. Aaron Silva stuffed it like a turkey on Thanksgiving, though, and shoved his nose in there. I'm not sure if that was kosher or not, but he got the move done over Stefano Rinaldi overall anyways. Alex Hansen promotes himself up into 5th place right now, and Luke Nelson going into the pits to serve his stop-go right now.
Indeed, and that is unfortunate for him. He manages to race the 3 laps that he can, but he is required to come in for his stop on this lap. Aaron Silva, my hero, he says, I love to see that. Aaron Silva is, we mentioned it before, just needs to be a little less aggressive, I think. We look at the McLaren there, and it's definitely been through a bit of conflict. It's had some moments here, and, to be fair, he's done a great job of keeping it between the lines, keeping it under control, but from everyone in the rookies, I would like to see a little bit less aggression, to be completely honest, especially on the early few laps. Like I say, everybody here, I think, is guilty tonight, unfortunately. Lots of bumping, lots of banging, and you never really want to see that, at least too much. Here's Aaron Silva, though, onto Jayasuriya. They caught up very quick. Did Jayasuriya have an incident? Either way, it looks like this is going to be a move very easily done for the Brazilian. It is not much of a fight there from Matthew.
And through the double right-hander, it's so hard to get your braking points right. Aaron Silva seems to be a master of that section. That seems to be where he wants to make his overtakes happen tonight versus Alex Hansen, who's setting this up through the final corner and in towards turn 1. And these GT4s don't have quite as much, let's say, oomph in them. Oh no, and there goes Jayasuriya off, and so does Aaron Silva. Both of them are off, the 57 and the car of the 252, both going off there at the final chicane. But like I was saying, Alex Hansen is the one who's been setting things up about a corner early and then getting the move done there at turn 1. And that's the way you got to do things in GT4 classes, where you've got to set things up from a mile back. You've got to be thinking about the racecraft from 2 moves prior to where you actually plan on making it stick.
Yeah, and we didn't see that from Aaron Silva and Jayasuriya there. That was what we just watched, by the way, in case anyone is curious, was Aaron Silva driving in his rearview mirror and Matthew Jayasuriya driving on his rear bumper. And it was a bit of monkey see, monkey do, and they both ended up going a little too deep there. So, again, lessons to look back on for some of these drivers, and there's a lot to learn tonight, I think, for anyone that is an aspiring racing driver. There's a lot of what not to do's out there on Zandvoort. This is a tough track, and really, this is kind of where all of them shine. It is what it is, right? This is racing, but definitely for a lot of drivers, they're going to be learning some stuff tonight.
Let's check out the battle between 8th, 9th, and 10th right now as we just get approached to the halfway point in the race. We've got Stefano Rinaldi leading Dr. Porkchop, and Jacob Curtis from F&M on the inside goes the Curtis F&M car. And there goes Dr. Porkchop tumbling a little bit further backwards in the number 71 after a little bit of lovemaking, heels touching there between the 2 cars.
Yeah, I don't know about making any love. I think the love has been lost, and that is clearly shown on the response right back. Dr. Porkchop was not too thrilled with Jacob Curtis's argy-bargy move, and so he says, you know what? You reap what you sow, eye for an eye on that one, and fair play, I guess. But again, as I go back to the fact that this is a bit more aggressive than I would like to see from all of the drivers tonight. I mean, look at the front end of each one of these Aston Martins. They are battered, bruised, been through war, carnage. This is not what you want to see in top-level splits. to put it
They're
lightly.
just doing a little dance, Mike. They're just making a little love.
They're
and
not.
trying to get down tonight. They're just trying to get down tonight, Mike.
They've gotten two down tonight. And they're going to go down again. Jacob Curtis goes way too deep there. No, he does get it locked up in time, actually, but good awareness from Dr. Porkchop to allow the space there. I am tremendously worried right now because I feel we are watching a kettle boil over between all three of these drivers. What? Stefano Rinaldi going very slowly through the hairpin and then runs Dr. Porkchop wide. Dr. Porkchop rejoins the circuit, takes off Jacob Curtis. This is a clown fiesta, Saagar. This is less than ideal from all parties involved. Again, I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it again. This is not just one driver that's responsible for this.
We're watching Pedro Artoni chase down Jay Asuria right now, and this is a battle that's been brewing for a little bit of time. Artoni 3/10 off the pace right now, and it looks like Jay Asuria is going to have the move done and dusted, and he's going to defend against Artoni in the Limit Road racing cars for quite some time. And it looks like Jay Asuria might be a sitting duck, though. Best lap time for him being a 1:49. And there on the outside line goes Pedro Artoni, but he might be going a little too deep there, switching it back. Backs out of it. Very well thought out there for the 997.
And he's going to have to think about it now into Tarzan as they go around the final corner now. All about setting it up through Ari Ludendijk, and well, that is not quite how you do that. That's the gravel line from both drivers. Still going to be able to get the run despite the fact that he went off the track. Now to the inside, the Aston Martin leaves the barn door wide open, and Jay Asuria, pretty sure, is about to have this nipped from him immediately. No, it's hesitation from Pedro Artoni, which I like to see, to be completely honest, at this point in the race, but he still gets the job done. Nice work there from the 997. Kind of, I want to say taking candy from a baby there, but definitely... oh goodness, this is okay, a little bit deep. Oh my, we're watching rookies, folks, just keep that in mind.
I think there might have been a little bit of lag on our perception there, as that car just did not look as planted as it was. He lost a little bit of time there, Jay Asuria, but Pedro Artoni is the one who's driving pretty cleanly right now in that 997 Camaro. Doing a great job of showing us how it's done. Watching the pot boil over, no. He's just keeping an eye on it and watching that pot come to a boil and removing it from the heat right when he needs to, backing out of moves that he didn't think were going to be successful, and then finding the way to make that move successful going in towards turn one. Great driving out of him.
And speaking of heat, let's turn the burners right back from a simmer up to a full-on roar, because we got Stefano Rinaldi and Dr. Porkchop 1.5 seconds away from each other, and we know what happens when these two come around each other. At least at Zandvoort, it just hasn't been the day for both of these two drivers, and well, if Stefano Rinaldi can in fact gain this pace over, I know both cars are fighting the damage that they have, but I guess two equally damaged machines means that there's no damage at all, right? Is that two wrongs make a right? Isn't that the saying as old as time? I don't know. Maybe that's just a fallacy.
I believe that is a big fat fallacy. Let's look at number 4 position through the 390. Alex Hansen still chopping it up like a NASCAR driver, chasing down none other than Jeff Franks right now in the We Win As Racing Love car. I believe that's the name of that car. It is actually Love Wins Racing Team, excuse me. Thank you very much. In the number 73, and Alex Hansen closes down the gap to under half a second very quickly. And this is going to be a move that Alex Hansen's going to be thinking about for a long time coming. Let's see if he goes for a signature move down towards turn 1 as we come to the back section of the track where there's a little less than 30 feet of elevation change. Alex Hansen looking towards the inside line. Will he be late on the brakes here? No. Dips back in towards the slipstream and finds Jeff Franks a little off heel right there. And he's trying to scare him into a mistake. Jeff Franks on the defensive. Very, very defendy right now. And we're about to come into the final chicane. And I think this is where Alex Hansen's really going to thrive and set this one up for his turn 1 signature overtake. Jeff Franks on the single file line right now. Alex Hansen's following him through. not touching the curb. Jeff Franks has a big old wiggle coming there off the exit, and this is indeed where Alex Hansen's going to set things up for success. He might be able to pass before the straight is completed now, coming through the final 2 turns. Everything is going to be neat and tidy right now, but then we cross the line. Alex Hansen drifting a little far wider there on the outside, carrying that momentum and speed all the way through, abusing as much of that track that he's paid for that he could possibly get. Now the 390 is going to slip down to the inside line any second now. No! Alex Hansen slips back in behind Jeff Franks, and Jeff Franks holds on for one more day.
I think right now Alex is trying to set this up into turn 10. This is where every single lap he seems to be trying to find the weakness of Jeff Franks, and this is kind of where a lot of the rookies tonight have made their mistakes. They've seen the barn door open and they just go for it. And to be fair, Alex Hansen had a full-on move if he wanted it. Jeff Franks did not defend through turn 10 at all. And Alex Hansen saw that, but he was like, you know what? I'm not quite in the proper position on this lap to know that I can get this overtake, so I'm going to try to get the best exit I can here through Shivelock and through Masters, setting it up into the 10th corner, but he's a little bit far back. He got a little out of shape there on the exit. He sees the gap, but it's not going to be open. He just takes to the racing line here, and I'll have to try again on the next lap, but I think this is the corner right here that he's trying to posture for. In fact, no, he's going to try to pull the trigger immediately. No, feeling the weaknesses again, sells the dummy onto Jeff Franks. He knows he's faster. He knows he has the time to play with right now with a couple more laps left. He's just trying to force Jeff into something that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, Alex Hansen actually holding on to the purple lap right now. 145 flat, basically, leading all the other drivers by near a couple of tenths. Even Jaeger Caro by 2 tenths right now. He's doing a great job driving this one forward. Last lap for Alex Hansen being a 46.2, and then last lap for Jeff Franks being a 46.7. So the pace is definitely there. Alex Hansen can give it up and take it back whenever he feels like it. Here he's now quite a far ways way back, going into the final corner. This is maybe where he's going to get the draft that he needs to get closed back down. There he makes a look on the inside line, late on the brakes, getting down towards the apex. Jeff Franks leaves plenty of room on the inside line, gets pushed off the cambered corner just a little bit more than he'd like to be. And then that is Alex Hansen's move, signed, sealed, and delivered, just like Stevie said.
Rookies, take notes. That is how you make an overtake 101. You don't go for the first move. You don't go for the second move that you see. You wait for the perfect opportunity, and Jeff Franks went too deep on the final corner, got an abysmal exit, and the Porsche out-drag raced into Mercedes. I think that says it all right there. Alex Hansen, patience pays off, and not only does it just pay off for one position, he has gained 11 positions total tonight, from 14th up to 3rd on the bottom step of the podium. Now, it's going to be a bit of work to find Alejandro Pulgarin. In fact, pretty much almost impossible barring a mistake from Alejandro. But all in all, Alex Hansen, driver of the day for certain. Yeah, rookies, this is what you want to aspire to, not some of the racing we've seen earlier.
Colin Sugg in 13th place is getting really close to R.L. Brown. Another Porsche AMG battle, just going a different way right now. Porsche trying to do the work around the AMG, the Coach Dave Academy car, and R.L. Brown was just able to get past Colin Slug there at turn 1, and now it's about to be inverted one more time. As we came through what's going to be turn 9, that Porsche goes a little bumpy over the curb there, not finding the real estate that he needed to assault that thing. And just like we were warned about during the Amadeo Castorino stream, that curb is quite aggressive there. If you touch the heavy bump there, pretty much just like a sausage curb. That's just an aggressive secondary curb. It's not necessarily a sausage. It's just a hump, let's say, like a camel's hump.
It's what you would call not the overtaking line. You want to go for that in the next corner. That's your setup corner there. You want to run wide through there and then shallow through the next. And yeah, like I say, that's just another example of going for the first gap you see. It's about patience. It's not about the short term. You need to play for the long term. And that's what I've just been noticing for the rookies. They're a very, very short-term mindset, it seems, in this race tonight. And I think it's an easy shift in terms of decision-making for a lot of these drivers. Let's see what Colin Sugg elects to do here. Down the start-finish straight, beginning his final lap. Looks to the inside of Tarzan and backs out. Fair enough. Commitment. Either way, we need to see the move. We're on the final lap here. We got to get her done if you're going to get it moving here. If you are Colin Sugg, and he just doesn't seem to be intent. Oh, and Phil Lee has bended, unfortunately, on the final lap, the number 11 car, as well as John Watt. It seems they have gotten involved, and there is the scene of the crime. Colin Sugg, oh my goodness, the Porsche there of John Watt, I think that was, I'm not sure. That was Phil Lee. Wait, Phil Lee that just got overtaken by us. Free position for Colin Sugg there. Can he find one more? Either way, Jaeger Karu, he's found the top step of the podium, takes home first position for the Jaeger Prime AMG.
Just watching that incident happen again with John Wad and Phil Lee was just an innocent bystander in that one. Unfortunate there, coming out of the turn 5 section, the high banking corner there. But congratulations to Jaeger Car and Jaeger Prime, Alejandro Polgarin and Alex Hansen for phenomenal drives. That's their 1, 2, 3. Jeff Franks in 4th. Aaron Silva is going to be driving it home in 5th. Pedro Artoni for the 2nd Limit Road Racing car is going to be in 6th, or the 3rd Limit Road Racing. I believe Alejandro Polgarin is also part of Limit Road Racing team now. No, he is not. Just kidding. And then we've got Dr. Porkchop, Matthew Jayasuria in 8th place, Stefano Rinaldi in 9th, and then Jacob Curtis is going to be in 10th.
Little three-way fight to the line here. Colin Sugg, R.L. Brown, and Phil Lee. Phil gutted on the final lap, unfortunately. Artoni was closing click. A potential podium in race 2. That would not certainly, I don't think that's out of the cards whatsoever. Pedro Artoni, fastest lap of a 146.0. Now, I will admit, he needs to find a little bit more pace if he wants to best Alex Hansen with a 145.0 as his best lap. Alex was absolutely rapid this entire time. We still have a few more drivers that need to come to the line, and we will have a brief server restart before we do head back into the race. We had a question earlier, how many races are left? Now, I'm not sure if you mean for tonight or the overall championship, but I can certainly tell you about both of those. Tonight, we have 2 more races left. We have another GT4 Rookies race, as well as the GT4 Open, and the rest of the championship, well, this is what we have. We have the GT4 Open that is going to be moving back over to the Nürburgring next week. We also have, of course, the GT3 series that is going to be running into the finals, as well as the West Coast Wednesday Championship finishing up on Zandvoort this week with the Spooky Suzuki special one-off livery contest, October 30th. But one race left in the championship for the rookies. They're going to be heading over to the Nürburgring next week, and I think the Open is going to be heading over to the Nordschleifer. We come back to the booth here. Nice long battle that we had throughout the entire race. 17 drivers that did make the checkered flag there, and especially after the first lap, bit of chaos, bit of carnage, and well, thankfully we had most drivers make to the checkered flag. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of that. Fun fact, dealer's choice. Saagar, I'm going to be honest, I'm lacking on my fun facts tonight. Do you have anything special for us?
Oh no, God, you're putting me on the spot, Mike Nause. I don't have any fun facts ready to go off of my dome. I wish I knew a funny one about a woodchuck chucking wood and how much wood they would chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, but I don't know how much a woodchuck would chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Do you?
No, I can't say that I do myself, Saagar, but just trying to pull up the classic chat GPT to figure out any form of fun facts about the Zandvoort circuit. The original layout was partially based on roads constructed by the occupying German forces in World War II, making it history intertwined with the war's legacy. Very interesting there. I hope that's a fun enough fact for you.
Okay, I do have a fun fact about woodchucks chucking wood. It's approximately 700 pounds. Cornell University wildlife biologist estimated the woodchuck could chuck about 700 pounds of wood if the inside volume of its burrow was filled with wood instead of dirt. The estimate is based on the idea that woodchucks toss dirt aside when digging their burrows, which is a similar action to chucking wood.
I am going to call bull on that study. I'm just going to be, it's not a study, so that's why I'm even going to call bull. But anyways, when talking about platypuses, they're the only other, there's only 2 mammals on this planet that lay eggs, platypi and echidnas. So, there you go.
Interesting.
And they're poison as well. They have poison bills, they poison spit, what is it about them? They're poison, so they got poison glands, they can shoot poison. I don't know, man. Platypus are poison for some reason, and I can't remember why. That is something that is in the brain there somewhere, if I could dig it up. I don't know. That sounds like something Adam Strange would know, to be honest. It sounded like a jab.
Is like a cross between a hedgehog and a porcupine and an anteater had a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair assessment of an echidna. They're pretty, like, not the most adorable things on the planet, I'm not gonna lie. They're alright, but, you know, they do
pretty
look
adorable to me.
They look a little slimy to me, but either way, I don't know.
Slimy?
The baby versions of them do, at least. I don't know. Baby echidnas are alright, but...
they're actually sometimes known as spiny anteaters and quill-covered monotremes. Oh, wow, that's actually true. Living in Australia or New Guinea.
There we go.
Okay, then. And Spadey Bud providing us with some fresh, tasty donuts here in the pit lane, of course.
Oh, no one can...
One of my favorite things to eat. I enjoy them. Spadey Bud. You keep on turning out those donuts for me. I'm no cop, but I do love me a good fresh donut.
If you're a cop, you gotta tell me if you're a cop. That's the rules, chat.
That's the way the laws work. Yeah.
It's not true, by the way, if you are in America. Either way, let's get down to the donuts and the action. I mean, it is a free practice session, but let's rate Spadey Bud's donuts, shall we? Let's see here. Let's get into the proper cams. Let's get the blank HUD.
Oh, Xander Zone. That's exactly what Sonic the Hedgehog is, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he is an echidna, isn't he? Yeah, you're right. Well, I did forget
he's not a hedgehog. He's an echidna, apparently.
Or isn't Knuckles? Is that Knuckles that's an echidna? Not Sonic? Sonic, I think, is a hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is a hedgehog. It's Knuckles that's an echidna, right?
Knuckles the echidna?
I'm pretty sure that's... I'm pretty sure that is the case. Now, I'm not a Sonic aficionado, so I'm not sure. By the way, Spadey's gotten into a rhythm here. He's locked that front right up and kind of gotten a good rotation on the back here using that right foot to good effect. Getting those donuts, nice round pirouettes. He's got the pendulum spinning. He's kind of getting off track though. He's losing it. He's losing it. He's losing it. He's keeping his foot in it. Oh, but he's fluctuating the throttle and he has in fact lost it. Had a good routine there. A solid 30 seconds of donuts and then he powers on down the road with blistering tires.
And he's going to start drifting through these corners here in just a second. And there it is, a little bit of Drifterino coming through turn 1 and doing a great job of putting on a show for us for the Spadey Prime team.
Oh, yeah, and Adam Strange there also. Yes, Knuckles is the echidna, yeah. I
Knuckles so. The echidna. I've just Googled it. Yes, Knuckles is in fact the echidna. Although he doesn't look very spiky. Yeah, he doesn't look very spiky.
Look, I don't make the rules, I just follow them, alright?
I mean, if anyone has more spikes, it'd be Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. Is Sonic actually a hedgehog?
I would hope so, at the very least. Either way, free practice is coming down to a close here, and we will be moving on into the No, we won't be moving into the quali session. We'll be moving into the race session, of course.
I've never seen a blue hedgehog in my life.
Can't say I've ever seen an orange echidna either, a yellow echidna either.
He's red? He's
red? Oh, you're right. Which one's the yellow one?
You mean Tails?
Ah, see, I'm not a Sonic person. That's... I'll take the L on that one. I'll take the L on that one. I'm not denying it. That was 100% on me.
Failed drift? Never had a Sega Dreamcast.
That is not... I wouldn't call it a failed... Oh, failed drift. Yeah. Failed... No, he did fail the drift. You're 100% right. Never mind Mario Jr. What am I talking about? No, he did some good donuts. Pretty good donuts, honestly. If I had to rate him on a scale of 1 to 10, solid 8, you know? I mean, he had that front tire locked up there for a good 30 seconds, so it was a solid donut. But the drift, yeah, definitely more on the scale of a 2 or even a 1, to be complete. Like, you know, I'm a harsh critic, sure, but it was a fail. It was a fail. Either way, we have 20 minutes ahead of us. That's enough rambling on about nonsense. Let's get into the action here, Saagar, and let's meet our drivers out on the field here tonight. Jägerkaru starting us off at the top once again with Alejandro Pulgarin company this time in the 444 Monster Cracks. Alex Hansen behind him in the slow Porsche, not so slow Porsche in the previous one, with a solid 11 plus overtakes over the course of the 20-minute session. Jeff Franks in 4th position himself there for the number 73 Love Wins Racing, with Aaron Silva company in the Limit Road Racing. The sister Limit Road cars side by side with 6th position belonging to the number 997, and Dr. Porkchop coming home in 7th for the 71. Matthew Jayasuriya 8th quickest for the 252, with Stefano Rinaldi company in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is Jacob Curtis.
Jacob Curtis in P10, now RL Brown in 11th place for the Coach Dave Academy 996. Then we've got Colin Sugg headed up for the Slug Racing team in 12th position for the number 34 Porsche. And following that's going to be the number 79 of Phil Lee in 13th position overall from Ireland. And Luke Nelson in the number 33 in 14th position AMR. Then we've got Vicente Morera, who did not have a great race 1, hoping to improve in race 2 for sure, in the number 84 Brazilian team in the 15th spot for him. John Wad in the number 95, 16th position McLaren, and he's going to be hoping to improve. Wade Georgeson looking to make his way from back to first in the 707 in 17th position. And then last but not least, the Donut Master himself, Spady Bud from Spady Prime in the 221 in 18th spot.
And the livery deep dive as well from Spady. Heck, why not? We're right here. Let's just do it. As we have the Spady Prime copy of the Jaeger Prime. Was this a Neil livery? I'm honestly not sure. Was this a Jaeger livery? The back bumper? Uh-oh, what's on the back bumper? What's on the back bumper? Oh, I see it. Do you see it, Saagar?
There's nothing there.
No, it's got a little tongue sticking out. I don't know. Maybe that's not the intention. I like it. It's got a little tongue sticking out, though. Either way.
Oh, the 2 little eye holes and the tongue sticking out? I think
so. Yeah, I think so. Is that what it is? I think that is what it is. It has to be it, right? Spady, what are you? Oh, no, typing in chat now? Oh, Spady, what are you doing? All right, we're going to take the camera off. We don't incentivize donuts during the race.
He's just trying to warm up his tires to catch back up to Jägerkaru, apparently, in P1.
I don't think that's going to help him too much. Might help him find the pit lane, unfortunately. And it is Vicente Morera. I have been saying that wrong this whole time. My apologies.
What is it?
You said Vicente Morera.
Yes.
You're right.
That's what you said.
No, that's not what I said. I said Vincent, didn't I? I think I've been pronouncing it wrong. Maybe I haven't. Now I'm questioning myself even. But either way, I think I've been saying it wrong. But Vicente Morera for Brazil. Currently running in 16th.
I'm just more Portuguese than you now.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. To be fair, it's not really it's not a hard scale to beat. I know a grand total of 2 words.
Bom dia. I know bom dia.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I mean, it's good day.
Fair enough, fair enough. I know obrigado and zebras. That's all I got.
What is zebras other than zebras?
Curbs. Believe it or not, it literally is. Yeah, so like curbs, when you're going over the curbs, like for the little bumpy bits that off to the left right there, as I point onto my monitor that you can't see where I'm pointing.
Right there,
the zebras. Right Jägerkaru just drove over the zebras. Correct me if I'm wrong, any Brazilians in chat, but I think I was told that by Daniel Versosa, who is in fact Brazilian, and whoa, I hope that's not a foreshadowing of the race to come with the background there.
Then what would you call a zebra?
Well, that I don't know. I'm not Portuguese. I can't speak Portuguese. I don't know. You're asking the wrong man.
Someone in the chat, let me know what a zebra is called in Portuguese over a curb.
Yeah.
Does the zebra jump over the zebra?
I don't think it does. honestly. But either way, we're 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. Getting ready to go here down through the final corner. Jaeger Karu on pole position with Alejandro Pulgarin alongside. The Christmas tree is all lit up. 5 red lights are on. The fans are ecstatic, waving the flag up at the top step there as we get ready to go green here for race 2 of the rookies. And Alejandro Pulgarin is off to a commanding start. In fact, Jaeger Karu caught dead in the water this time. Alex Hansen finds the inside line, goes for the move, and he is going to try to find it. There's contact behind from Dr. Porkchop onto Jeff Franks. But it seems that Alejandro did hold the position. Alex Hansen up over Jaeger Karu. Aaron Silva holding on to 4th position with Pedro Antoni behind. And as everybody tries to file in behind, we'll see if there's any more contact onto this back bit. We're going to follow along with Dr. Porkchop here, chasing down Pedro Antoni. The side-by-side action, though, from behind Jayasuriya, as well as Curtis. Curtis gets by Colin Sugg, though. A little bumping and banging there with Luke Nelson, and he clobbers the curb. Both cars taking off, as well as the 4 cars getting collected, and we go bowling at Zandvoort as there's everybody getting caught up and pretty much just annihilated. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, there's plenty more action yet to come. Let's watch Alex Hansen in P2 chasing down and Alejandro Pulgarin battle for the lead now as Alex Hansen's trying to go around the outside at turn 11 now, chasing down Pulgarin. And it looks like Pulgarin might be a sitting duck now. Alex Hansen's putting the moves down, making a look up the inside line, coming into the final chicane, just trying to scare Pulgarin into a mistake there. Gets it over the curbs just a little bit too much there. And Alex Hansen got slowed down by a considerable amount. Gap's now coming down between the 4 drivers leading at the front. Aaron Silva, though, promotes himself up into 4th place, and there goes Alex Hansen trying to chase down Pulgarin very well through the final corner, but loses touch by just a little bit. And I don't think he's going to be able to pull off his Alex Hansen signature move down towards turn 1 of Tarzan here tonight.
Not yet. Behind him, though, I'm not sure the same can be said for Aaron Silva, who at least had a look to the inside. Looked like he was going for a move. In fact, he is, because Jaeger Karu decides to hand the position over for free. Says thank you very much, does Aaron Silva. Alex Hansen continues, though, up ahead, not too worried about what's going on behind him right now, as Aaron Silva able to stay on the track. Actually, that was Jaeger Karu going deep through the hairpin. Struggling is the AMG at this stage right now. But the BMW leads the Porsche, leads the AMG over the McLaren over the AMG, as the timing charts in ACC are absolute garbage and don't switch on you.
Yeah, I think Jaeger Karu just got a little cooked there, and not as the kids say to like let him cook is a good thing, but I think he just cooked it a little bit as in a bad thing there in towards turn 1. Carried a little too much speed there. Alex Hansen getting up on 2 wheels, turning that 4-wheeler into a bicycle for just a moment, and there goes a move up the inside towards turn 10, making a look like he wants to act on it. Now he's fully alongside that BMW. The BMW goes a little bit off and wide, and Alex Hansen inherits the lead of this race. For how long? The BMW is going to try to switch back instantly, and this might end in tears for fears. No, it does not, as he boxes out Aaron Silva from behind. The 444 doing a good job of defending away from losing another position there on the number 57 of Aaron Silva.
Yeah, and Alex Hansen's just going to try to walk away now with that. That was an incredible placed move, as Alex Hansen just kind of had no real intention of going for the overtake there. He just placed this car to the inside and basically gave everything to Alejandro and said, well, you react or you don't. If you don't react, I don't make the move. If you do, then great, I gain the position for free. And Alejandro, well, he called the bluff. Or rather, didn't call the bluff. He ended up going for it and went for the defense that was unnecessary. This time he needs to defend, though, as Aaron Silva has a run on him. He parks it in the center of the track, though, not allowing the McLaren alongside. Behind that, the McLaren clobbers the curb. Silva under pressure from Karu in the back now, but Karu deep in the hairpin. Shooting himself around the corner is Antoni, trying to find an exit. But it's sort of a bit of a, I don't want to say a DRS train, but a bit of a easy enough for me to say, a slipstream train here on lap 2.
Yeah, a little bit of a slipstream train here for the drivers. 3, 4, 5, 6 is the battle we're watching. We're watching from Aaron Silva all the way back to Dr. Porkchop. And lurking in the background is actually Jeff Franks as well and he's just there right behind Dr. Porkchop as Porkchop almost gets a move made on him. Excuse me, as he makes a move on our Tony there. And our Tony's going to snap right back up in the background. We're watching this battle braze on, and there goes our Tony back through on Dr. Porkchop, and there it is. The move, it might be signed, sealed, and delivered or not, as the 71's trying to go back up the inside line, headed into the chicane, backs out of it well enough and early enough to defend against Jeff Franks now.
Jeff Franks trying to get on it immediately here. Dr. Porkchop feeling the pressure, as well as Stefano Rinaldi. We jump back here briefly. Colin Sugg trying to get alongside and make moves where he couldn't quite do it last time around. Stefano, though, doesn't get bested. I do want to take a look, though, at this battle at the front because it is volatile, it seems, right now. Aaron Silva, who is one of the fan favorites out there in chat, trying to make a move now through Tarzan, grabs the vine, but doesn't go for the swing. He just elects to stay behind Alejandro Pulgarin. A nice defense there, sort of being a bit unpredictable, which is what you want to be. He just stuck to the racing line, but rather than going fully to the inside, he kind of parks it in the middle of the track, but forcing a reaction there is Aaron Silva. Yegerkaru trying to make moves as well, but I'm not sure that's the line that he wants to be using time after time, but he is every single lap, it seems. Karu a little out of shape through that corner.
Yeah, he's trying to take the Formula One line, it looks like, staying high there and snapping back down, but that is not the ideal line to take, I believe, in these GT3 cars, as we'd know from watching the track guide with Amadeo Castorino that we do on Tuesdays here. Yegerkaru 3/10 away from Aaron Silva, and hopefully trying to make up that position quick, fast, and in a hurry. Last laps being a 36.3 for Aaron Silva, 36.5 for Yegerkaru right now, but the fastest lap going to Alex Hansen. The last lap around was a 45.992. He's still got some pace beneath him. His best laps right now has been a 45.6, and we've seen him do a 45 flat basically. So out there to improve is Alex Hansen.
Oh, and there was a bit of contact. Aaron Silva into the back of Pulgarin, and Aaron hesitant on the rejoin. He allows Yegerkaru on through, but tries to dive back immediately. Now he has the rear gunner of the Limit Road Camaro behind him. The sister car hasn't been really playing ball, though. I will say both of those cars kind of aggressively racing each other back and forth, and we'll see if that continues. Down towards lap 5 we go. Yegerkaru crosses the line with a gap of about 5/10 to Aaron Silva. Aaron Silva about 3/10 to Pedro Antoni, and Dr. Porkchop still trying to gain anything he can, really trying to stick with these guys, it seems, and just all the squabbling has allowed them to. But Jeff Franks, he is looking for any opportunity he can find as well.
Yeah, it might be 5/10 back to Aaron Silva right now and to his compatriot Pedro Artoni, but it's about 5 seconds ahead to Alex Hansen right now. He is absolutely commanding this race and walking away from it in the 390 Porsche car, doing a really great job. But this is the battle between 3, 4, 5, and 6. Aaron Silva all the way back to Jeff Franks, as Yegerkaru has pulled out a 1.3 second gap from Aaron Silva to Yegerkaru.
And Aaron here just trying to keep that gap a bit of a distance. I'm still wondering if there are team orders between these two Limit Road teammates, the Brazilians. We have Dr. Porkchop involved here as well with Jeff Franks, as I had mentioned before. Jeff to the outside, looking left, looking right, but he is just really getting bottlenecked. And here, Pedro Antoni thinking about the move maybe. No, he has to go for an offensive defense if he wants to stay ahead right now. He really needs the work of his teammate to hold on to the position, but his teammate, again, not quite playing ball. Pedro, elbows out, tries to gain the advantage. He runs Dr. Porkchop extremely deep there. A little bit of argy-bargy in terms of the squeeze, and I'm not sure that was fully on. But again, that's where, you know, maybe the difference between, I guess, watching the esports races that and watching the rookies is you want to see the teammate ahead kind of back the car up. That way it doesn't allow that move to ever take place. Thankfully, Pedro Antoni is on the ball with the defense, but you can see immediately back to the first corner, Dr. Porkchops is going for it, and he clubs Artoni there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Aggressive.
Pedro elbows out Artoni. We've seen some aggressive driving tonight, but I think all's fair in love and war right now in these GT4 cars. They believe that rubbing is racing, as Jeff Franks has a bit of a tank slapper going off the dirt there at the end of turn 5 and gets the car collected, but loses touch with the cars in front. Dr. Porkchop now 3/10 away from Aaron Silva. And Aaron Silva is in 3rd position right now, but Dr. Porkchop's trying to change all of that. Last lap being a 47.8. 47.8 for Aaron Silva. Side-by-side action, a little bit of hip checking there from Alejandro Polgarin into Phil Lee, it looks like. And he's back through on his recovery drive, the 444, getting past the 79. But the 79 is going to have the inside line right now. And will he act on it? I don't think so. Phil Lee, Colin Sugg, the 2 identical Porsches going side-by-side for just a moment. Phil Lee leads Colin Sugg as well.
That was a dangerous situation that those 2 were taking part in as they went side by side through the S's. It is, well, we all know there's a curb there that if you hit it, you will in fact roll. And I think that was maybe what those drivers were trying to force each other into just briefly and cost each other a mistake. Whilst we were watching that, Pedro Artoni has still the pressure on from Dr. Porkchop. Nothing has changed here. Porkchop, though, I think had an advantage and got ahead there briefly, but since then, Artoni able to defend. We'll see if that can reign true, though, as we go down the start-finish straight. Immediately boxed off, though, and now Porkchop forced to the unfavorable line on the outside. He's going to have to go beyond late on the brakes, and he does so. Swings around the vine, off into the gravel, and watch out for that tree. Dr. Porkchop, he is not going to be finding the ideal situation in that.
Oh, Artoni had gotten through on Dr. Porkchop by a big lick the stamp and send it moment there into the final chicane, and he was able to recover by just a little bit, but that's what had set all this stuff up, was a little bit of a hip check there, and Porkchop trying to regain some track space that he was entitled to, unable to produce that.
Indeed, and as we look back at Colin Sugg, Colin here trying to make moves on to Alejandro. We have a bit of a yellow flag from Philip Lee in the 2nd hairpin. He has found himself back in the garage as well. I just wanted to take a moment, though, as I haven't the entire race as of yet. It's been a very eventful race. Thanks to everybody here and chat tonight. I saw we over on the YouTube side of things had someone joining us. Brian, welcome. The blue tie is pure dedication, and thank you for the nice words. In fact, it is not just a blue tie, it's a Trackalicious tie. We got the Trackalicious tees, courtesy of Neil Kerbel, my contractually obliged tie. If I don't wear it, I will in fact be fired. Wait, I wasn't supposed to, that's in my contract to not say that as well. Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain as we go back to the racing. Colin Sugg continuing his threat.
The last paycheck was a tie is the only comment I can still remember from the last time he brought up the tie comment. I thought that was hilarious.
It's true.
Pedro Artoni, Colin Sugg is the one getting chased down. Jacob Curtis actually producing 46.5s right now. Should be able to catch up to Colin Sugg by the end of this race, hopefully. Colin Sugg's only able to produce around 48.4s this last lap around. Let's see what it is when he comes to the line. 46.3 as he was just a little held up there. So 46s and 47s for Colin Sugg and Jacob Curtis. Jacob Curtis nestled into the top 10 right now, but trying to find his way to improvement. Pedro Artoni chasing down Aaron Silva. He's got about 6/10 in his pocket right now behind his teammate. And if there's any 2 drivers that I would like to put money on going side by side, it's going to be Aaron Silva and Pedro Artoni. I think those guys have done a lot of training together and enough training with each other to know how each other's going to operate in the middle of a race. I don't think there are any team orders here between them as well, so I think anything is possible. Artoni could actually get one by on Aaron Silva, and no love lost would be between these drivers.
Yeah, they give it all their heart. You know, it's one thing I often say about the Brazilians is they I absolutely love the fire and the passion that they show on and off track, and it really goes to show it right here. We're seeing the battling between the 2 teammates, the compatriots as well, onto the back stretch where normally the DRS zone would be, but not here on the GT4, as I mentioned earlier. And that's a bit of an offline from Silva. Artoni, though, gets boxed out by the back marker. Still gets the job done. That was the worst possible time to be approaching that Aston Martin. But either way, Aaron Silva, he unfortunately bottles it.
But Pedro Artoni is able to get one through. Like I said, if there are any two drivers to go side by side, it'd be the Limit Road Racing drivers. They've done enough work together. They know exactly where each other's strengths and weaknesses are. The amount of hours that these gentlemen practice every single week throws dividends here at the GT4 rookies level. And hopefully we'll be seeing some of them get promoted towards the Open and get their white badges for next season's time as well.
Yeah, indeed. Oh my goodness, back to Colin Sugg and Alejandro Pulgarin as, oh no, Colin Sugg, can he get it locked up in time? He does. Pulgarin gives him the light of day. They continue side by side as they go down towards the hairpin, and the Porsche gains the advantage. The BMW gets beat out with the Aston Martin in the background. He takes an offline and will not be finding the position just yet. Can Pulgarin get a run now through the S's? It seems like no. He's going to have to use this opportunity to try to gain up in Shivlock and again back towards turn 10 if he wants to respond on this lap. But it seems like the Porsche maybe has the pace to hold on, and Colin Sugg here, he's been trying for a while to get that job done, and he finally has, and that's out of shape for Pulgarin. Goes to show you just how hard he's pushing.
Yeah, and that's one of those really cheeky moves going in towards turn 1 is where you want to say, you want the outside line, you got it, but I'm here to exist, and I don't have to turn in just as early as you think I do, just because you're on the outside line. And he really held him to that wheel well along the inside, and that's where Colin Sugg was able to hold Pulgarin hostage there and just waiting to get his turn-in point until he was done braking in a straight line. Pulgarin just had nowhere else to go other than just sit there and then go a little bit wide there off the camber that he wanted to be inside of on the inside of turn 1 Tarzan.
No, and Pulgarin here, he is going to be under threat as he comes around the final corner and onto the stretch, and so is Colin Sugg if he continues that. Goes a little bit deep, picks up some gravel on the tires. It doesn't affect it too much. In fact, we haven't really seen that affect the drivers at all through that corner. You're just carrying your momentum and able to slingshot yourself through there. And none of the drivers finding any form of advantage. A late look, though, to the outside from the Aston, trying to set up a switchback, but Pulgarin, he knows that's coming, and he parks his car in the proper location there to defend from it. Now back up to the S's again. This is where the overtakes, they start to get slim, and everybody has to bide their time and wait. But again, no one wants to wait.
Everybody being a little impatient, including Jacob Curtis getting on throttle there on the grass, and that'll be the end of his efforts to finish in the top 9 or anything better than top 9. But Jacob Curtis's race might be not over, but it is over for that battle that we were just watching.
Yeah, and continuing with the fight here, Eric. Oh, goodness, as he comes in here, we almost see a bit of a repeat of earlier. Yeah, we have a good, clean race now, I will say. The race has, in fact, cleaned itself up as everybody has the war wounds to show, Pulgarin included. You can see the scrapes, the bumps, the bruises. And that's been a bit of the story of tonight, to be completely honest. It has not been the cleanest of the races. In fact, it might be the literal opposite of that, I'm not going to lie, but they've cleaned it up to the end, so, you know, we can at least take the victories, the small victories that we can get. Beyond that, oh my goodness, Jeff Franks almost goes flying there. He's going to try to fly on by the Aston Martin of Pork Chop, but he doesn't seem to have the run after that mistake.
And it looks like the drivers have got 2 minutes left on the clock, everybody. And Colin Sugg, Alejandro Pulgarin are still about half second away from each other. But this battle right now, Jeff Franks, Dr. Porkchop, and Aaron Silva being the closest battling trio that we can find. And they're about a second away from each other, the 3 cars right now. And Aaron Silva is actually 1.5 off of his teammate of Pedro Artoni. And that will have championship implications between the 2 drivers and the points that they're able to receive right now. As Alex Hansen walking away with first place right now, his best lap being a 45.112. Compared to the rest of the field, 45.3, 46.0, 46.1, 46.2, and 45 is a little bit further down with Jeff Franks and none other than. So great laps out of Jeff Franks, and he is stringing it together right now for sure.
Yeah, driver of the day, though, I think has to belong to Alex Hansen up at the front, who has been leading pretty much since the start. I mean, he started in 3rd position, but managed to gain the advantage very, very early on. And just drive perfectly. You know, Alex Hansen, again, if any of the rookies are watching this one back, take notes from the 390 Porsche. He put the patient moves on. He had the raw pace to deliver as well. That's another thing, is obviously he's been consistent. He's been consistently fast, but he's been patient. And I think that's been the root of success for him, as he even is being patient when he's dealing with the back markers. Flash of the headlights here. He sees the gap as he begins the final lap, and he is going to commit to it there. That is a very respectful Wade Georgeson that he has to negotiate around by.
And doing a great job of keeping in touch with the drivers that are in front of him. All of the blue flag markers, like you said earlier on the Williams broadcast, there is an art to being a blue flag car as well. You have to keep your head on the swivel. You have to be cognizant of where your car's positioning is to make sure that you negotiate these corners successfully with the other cars around you. That way you're not just ignored and being slowed down by getting lapped over and over and over again, but you're still allowed to race your race. So great job to Wade Georgeson as well. No discredit to him to being a blue flagged car.
No, absolutely. It is, yeah, like you said, it is a talent in itself, which is something that you just have to learn by getting lapped. And racing in multi-class is a great way to help with that, of course, but here we don't have that opportunity. It is all the GT4s, and you just got to make do with the situation that you're put in, and credit to Wade Georgeson for finishing this race. He's 2 laps down and still going to make the checkered flag. That's more than a lot of drivers can say in this race tonight. We had a lot of people backing out, which, you know, again, I always incentivize, especially if you're a rookie. Why are you backing out? You're in here to learn. There's absolutely no loss of pride for finishing in last. There's no pride finishing in first. It's just about getting to the checkered flag and learning some stuff along the way. And I think Alex Hansen this season has shown exactly that as he comes through the final corner complex here. Talk about drivers that maybe need or not need, but maybe will be promoted to the quote-unquote open series, or promoted out of rookies, however you want to call it. Alex Hansen's shown that he is definitely worthy of that, and he's delivered, taking home the victory here tonight. He wins race 2. And a very hard-fought effort as well. I think over 15 positions gained tonight. So an incredible stonking performance for the 390.
Great driving from the 390 indeed. I'll just back that up with saying congratulations to Alex Hansen. Jaeger Caro rounds it out in P2, Pedro Artoni in 3rd, Aaron Silva, Dr. Porkchop, and Jeff Franks only 2/10 away from Dr. Porkchop when they cross the line. Great drive out of all these drivers, getting it to the very final moment of the checkered flag. There goes Colin Suggs dipping out there as well. He's about 11.9 away from Jeff Franks, but Alejandro Pulgarin and him were just separated by a couple of tenths there. As Spady Budd in 9th position, Jacob Curtis in 10th, Stefano Rinaldi in 11th, R.L. Brown in 12th, John Wad in 13th, Matthew Jayasuriya in 14th, and Wade Georgeson in 15th.
Man, and everybody dipped out of the server pretty much instantly. Let's head back to the booth, shall we? As there's not much to view left here tonight, unfortunately. There's going to be pretty much all the drivers to the line, but don't worry, there's more to view, of course, because we have the GT4 Open up next. Don't go anywhere, folks. Still more action to come. In fact, we're going to be checking on that just to see exactly where we are at in terms of it, but green light, go, 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 and it is free, about 6 minutes left in free practice, so some time for the rookies to join back. We'll mute that up and get some lovely beats in the background by Chris Laronde. I haven't done that in a while. But what a race overall. Highlights of tonight: Alex Hansen, fastest lap and most positions gained throughout both of the races. Certainly an incredible effort. We have Pedro Artoni, who we have had a lot of support for in chat, and very much so delivering as well. Up a couple positions, up 3 positions from race 2 from 6th, finishing home in 3rd. Dr. Porkchop up 2 positions as well from 5th, and a better result from the previous one as well after getting a couple collisions in the previous race. But all in all, again, I think the notes of tonight are keep it a little bit more clean for the rookies for the final race as we head on over to the Nürburgring. That's a very tight first corner, and I'm sure when we have the track guide tomorrow night with Amadeo Castorino, we'll be going over the first corner and how exactly to stay safe in that. And I would highly recommend any of the rookies going back and watching that because, or going forward and watching that. It's not back yet. But if you are watching this VOD and it is past Tuesday, I would highly recommend checking that out because it's going to help you out tremendously in survival, because that is going to be the difference in a 1 position gain maybe, but also it could be up to 15 positions gained, which Alex Hansen found out himself.
Do we want to grab our Tony and Alex Hansen from the green room and in for some interviews, Mike Nause?
Yes, of course. Why don't we start off with Arntoni? We'll start off with third position and then move on to first. Let's bring him on down here. We have Pedro Arntoni joining us here from the Limit Road team. Pedro, you got a copy?
Hello.
How was your race? A bit of a sleeper one? Well, not really. You had quite a few fights out there with your teammate as well as some of the other drivers. Very fun racing, I gotta say, when it comes to the spectating. How was it from your perspective?
It's a little bit threatening. I think so, because I get started from the pit and I just try to be safe and to get some positions. And it had a great accident the first lap in the first race that managed me to get a lot of positions, and it helped me a lot in the second race.
Yeah, setting yourself
and
up.
About the the fight with my teammate, we are discussing that into the Discord. Hey, I will attack you. I will overtake you, and we all say let's fight, and the better wins. And this.
Awesome. Yeah, the battle you guys put on was very entertaining. It was over the limit a couple times. I know you guys are the Limit Road, but you were certainly not limited to the track tonight. You guys went off a few times, explored the gravel, explored the grass. And overall, It was an absolute melee. It was fun to watch. Was it fun? I'm assuming it was fun to drive as well.
Yes. Very fun. My heart is beating fast now because it's a big race, and I love this race.
Excellent. That's so glad to hear. Pedro, before we move on, is there anybody that you would like to thank?
Of course. I want to send a kiss to my girlfriend, Isabella, and I want to send a hug from my team who are supporting me into the Discord and throughout the week in the training sessions. And it's this. And thank you all from TRACKILICIOUS and for your stream. It's always a pleasure to race with you.
Thank you very much, Pedro and Tony, everybody. Third place finisher, giving some love out there to Isabella as well. Pedro, have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. For you too.
Up next, Saagar, I think you've had a chance to catch up here with our race winner tonight, Alex Hansen.
Yay! Hello.
Hey, congratulations, Alex Hansen, on a fantastic drive again this week. You worked your way up into a podium position for race 1 and then worked your way up from P3 into P1 for the second race. Talk to us how you worked your way from the back of the grid all the way to the top step of the podium.
Thank you. That was all some kind of motivation from Jaeger car. We were arguing in the chat, like, I'm gonna go faster. No, I'm gonna go faster. And then just in the end, I decided I will send it on him. He gave me some space, and yeah, I am actually surprised how good Porsche is on braking in this race. I managed to overtake a lot of guys just under braking, sanding too late, but just good thing that these drivers understand the racing and that others can send it.
Absolutely. You did a great job setting things up for turn 1. That seemed to be your overtaking opportunity spot. Would you agree that seemed to be your specialty?
I can agree because I could not catch anyone on the slipstream on this straight. This Porsche is so slow.
We did a great job. Was there any other overtakes that you're really trying to set up, or was turn 1 really just your prime opportunity to get those overtaking moves done here at Zandvoort?
I wish I could try some more, but this track is hard for overtakes. Just not enough straights, a lot of high-speed corners, so you cannot send it over there. The slow corner before the second straight, I got one good overtake for P1 in race 2 against the BMW. That was good. I felt it.
Yeah, great overtakes all around, and you managed to keep it mostly clean. Do you think you'll be hit with a disqualification for your final round here at Tracklicious for the rookie round?
Zero contacts. Very clean race.
Perfect. Glad to hear it. You've been improving so well. Do you think you'll find yourself in the pro category for next season?
I will try, yeah. The problem is I'm improving in GT4, but GT3 is so hard. I
Well,
get used to this BMW so much, but I hate this car.
Well, we'll look forward to watching you succeed in due time here in the next race for the GT4 Open as well. And hopefully we'll catch you in the pro category next season.
Thank you. Yeah, see you in GT Open.
See you in the Open Series. Is there anything else that you want to mention? Go ahead, Mike Nause.
No, nothing. You hit it. You're good. Sorry, you were going to skip that.
Yeah,
we're fine.
Once again, I'm just going to thank my friend, Soma. He said that I'm not supposed to thank him every time after every race. But no, I will. I will insist on that. Gonna say hello to my parents for checking the race after. I was kind of surprised they're enjoying it. And yeah, thank you for Jaeger Caro for giving me this motivation.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. The team camaraderie, or the camaraderie amongst drivers, proving to provide fire to your belly. We'll keep it up, Mr. Hansen, and we'll see you in the Open Series. Have a wonderful day and be safe as always.
Oh, no, one more thing.
Yeah, please.
Thank you guys for selecting me the driver of the day today. Woo!
Hey.
You're doing a great job.
Earned
Thank
it.
you guys.
You earned it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, brothers. Take care.
Alex Hansen, everybody, your first place finisher for the GT4 Rookie Series. And going to be racing tonight in the Open as well, so we get to see a second time around. We're going to run a quick little ad real quick, as Twitch is absolutely on me about running an ad here, and I need to do so before it gets mad at me. So we're going to do that while we get down to the qualifying session. If you guys are interested, though, it is not September anymore, but you had mentioned, Saagar, that you get a free month of Discord Nitro if you subscribe with Twitch this month. So if you are interested in that, definitely, if you've been looking to get Discord Nitro, that is something to do. Free upgraded streaming, as well as bigger files to send, and so on and so forth. Other perks, as well as boosting servers and things like that. So if that's something that interests you, you've been thinking about that, get on that and get a subscribe to Trackalicious. And we thank you if you do. If you can't, obviously, thank you for just tuning in. But we are going to run a quick little 2-minute ad. But while anyone is still here, we're going to get down to the action, or any VOD watchers as well, of course. We've got the black screen of anticipation before the qualifying session is underway.
And the drivers are just getting to their outlaps right now, and it'll be the pros going out first, and then followed by that will be the amateurs. So we've got two different classes here for the GT4 Open category. We have pros, them being in the white plates, and then we've got the amateurs. Those are in the red plates up and down the field that you see. So all those pit stops, those are for just drivers that are waiting to get past the 10-minute point, and then you'll see them all lined up and ready to peel out of their garage stalls at that given time. But until then, the pros have the track for the first 10 minutes, and that's 10 minutes plus 1 lap. So basically, if you're crossing the line with 10:01, you still got 1 more lap left to go before you got to pull over and yield the track to the amateurs, who will then be taking to the grid.
Yep, precisely. And Ali Raza here, he has begun his first lap. Why don't we go on board here in the cockpit cam of the McLaren? This is the Razzle Dazzle Motorsports. Is going to be climbing the gear through the S's now towards Scheivlach, the downhill left-hander, where all of the elevation comes into play here at Zandvoort. Single downshift in the GT4s, fighting the understeer as the car wants to go straight on, and you have to wrestle it otherwise. Coming now down into Masters, as well as turn 10, getting nice and tight on the apex there, running wide to get yourself a maximum entry speed into turn 10, one of the better overtaking spots on the track as well. Now into the S's, shoot yourself over to the right-hand side of the track, not quite all the way, but just about. Misses the apex there a little bit, does Ollie, but not far off. Maybe a couple thousandths missing out in terms of lap times. Now to the the chicane, the very, very tricky chicane, braking at the curbs, hammering it down into second gear, which is basically first gear in the McLaren. Getting yourself enough rotation to get to the curbs, but nothing more than that. Punching the throttle now for the final corners, and this is the roller coaster. High speed, high commitment corners, punching the throttle flat out all the way now, just about, no, not in a GT4. You need a slight little lift apparently there. All the way to the line, fifth gear. First time on the board for Ollie Raza. It's going to be a 144.0.
144.0, but will get bested by a 43.8 from JPR. That's James Pierre Reed from the Celsius Autosports from Down Under. And he's doing great things in that Audi R8 LMS GT4 car. And whoa, not so great there on the entrance to turn 4. He looks like he was getting a little squirrely there. And we've got the Simnut Thundercats, George Elmer's car, getting to the line next. Justin Beachley able to improve by just a little bit. JPR leads Ollie Raza, Beachley, Gross, Vasquez, Elmer in 6th place, Joshua Worley in 7th place.
Joe Khalil will be the next driver to the line in the Cali Camo. Going to be coming around the final corner here to set his first lap. Ollie Raza also improving currently. We'll be checking back with him briefly. JP Reed into pit lane to make changes very early. That's surprising to see after setting the first lap. He is not happy with his setup and decided to change one or two little things. To the line, Joe Khalil is enough for the back of the grid. A banker lap, though, is the time for him. 145.7 up ahead. Right now, Ollie Raza, 144.0. It's a 143.8 to beat.
I think that might have been a pit stop for JPR to grab a new set of rubbers, as he did touch that inside curbing there on the entrance of turn 4, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but that might just be a little bit of time gain for him that he might be able to develop if he does get back out on track again. And he is exiting the pit lane right now. That's JPR in the number 15, exiting right in front of Ollie Raza. And Ollie Raza takes back pole position with a 43.695, beats out JPR by a tenth and a bit. And then Justin Beachley, Gross, Vasquez, Chronotis, Elmer, Worley, Freeman, Khalil, and Clementi rounding it out right now. Spady Bud, the only one of the pros who's busy doing donuts in the pit lane to give us a qualifying time, working his way from the back of the grid, trying to do his best Alex Hansen performance.
Fair play. No comment. Luis Vasquez has managed to get himself a time on the board for the TCR team, the 777 from Mexico here out on the field. Vasquez trying to improve. He's got a car behind him not too far. I'm trying to catch a glimpse on who that is exactly. I can't quite tell. I think that's Professor Chronotis, actually, is who I think that is. Does he have another livery? He does have another livery out there tonight. The TRACKILICIOUS LSR 24-hour. He uploaded it correctly. It's about time.
I was wondering what that car actually looked like, because I knew it couldn't just be an all-white car. And here we've got a good look at it from a custom camera view. TRACKILICIOUS there on the front left of that car, as well as SimGrid plastered there on the banner. RDM, and then a couple more sponsors underneath the number plate. That's a good-looking 42 car McLaren for sure.
Yeah, and all the names of the teammates up on top as well is what that looked like to be. I saw Shooty's name, I saw JP Reed's name, as well as Chrono, and I couldn't catch the last one, but there are 4 names up there from the team. Vasquez, though, ahead here, trying to gain on his time. JP Reed with another invalid lap. No, wait, hold on. No, that's just because of ACC TV has been glitchy lately when people come out of pits. Vasquez decides to pull over and let some other drivers by, Randy Gross being one of them. He comes to the line for an improvement. Can he find a position? No, but he does find an improvement. Justin Beachley behind him finds 0.4 of an improvement, but it's not enough for a position either.
Not much of an improvement, but it is self-improvement, and the cars are setting stonking lap times. I hope they realize that they're in GT4 machinery, not GT3 machinery, because they're only a couple seconds off the pace, well, around 10 seconds off the pace, obviously, of GT3 times, but they're doing great jobs. And Justin Beachley rocking the Cat car and their CC on the side of the car. And we see that lovely cat car go by for another lap here, maybe 2 more laps if we're lucky, or if Justin Beachley is actually lucky. But the tires have got to be fading away from him right now, and hopefully he's fueled up for this entire session, because that'll be another reason to have to come into the pits and call your qualifying a little bit earlier rather than later. Ali Raza goes off there, and I believe he is... No, he's just on an invalid lap right now, but he is still out there out on track, and he's going to do one more after this.
Indeed. And speaking of Ali Raza, we haven't mentioned the championship as of yet, but I think mathematically at this point, Ali Raza has concluded the championship. I don't think there's any way at this point Ali can actually lose it, barring not... I don't even think not showing up is going to do it. But either way, I think he has fully secured the championship over Justin Beachley, who's running in second right now, but George Elmer still only 17 points off the mark of Justin, so the championship is still not decided for second, third, and even potentially fourth. Brian Clementi at 202 points with Professor Chronotis behind. There's not much margin separating them, so all in all, it's sort of a fight for the best of the rest.
Well, the rest of the podium, let's call it that, if we can. Brian Clementi in 4th place, Professor Chronotis, John Hawley, Alex Freeman, Luis Vasquez, Shane Domlin, and Squirrely Whirly being in the top 10, and they've all got a chance for the rest of the podium spots. Well, maybe not all of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a bit of a stretch. Some of those, yeah, the points on offer, they are quite high, but yeah, they got a lot of work to do if that's going to be the case. Some luck falling into place. You know, Luis Vasquez has 2 rounds that he's missed, unfortunately, and that's pretty much the case with all of those drivers that you mentioned, down from 6th to pretty much 10th of the championship, as they just have 2 rounds that they missed, and that is enough to make the difference in points. If they had competed in every single one of them, they would have been in it, but they just weren't, and that's math for you, baby. I don't know what else to say.
And I think Shane Domlin is still recovering from thumb surgery and sitting this one out right now. So that'll be it for Shane Domlin for the rest of the championship, I would imagine. So that'll be it for him, and promoting Joshua Worley, if he is still participating here today. He is out here participating, settling into 6th position right now, 1.1 off the pace of Ali Raza with his 43.695 right now, doing a great job of driving that thing forward. But he is in the pit lane, and this will be it for all of the drivers on their pro laps, and it'll be up to the amateurs to show us how they get down for the remaining 10 minutes of qualifying.
Indeed, and they have a bit of a benchmarker out there. We got Shooty over on the YouTube chat. Welcome, Shooty. Hope you're having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning. Sad that you're not out there on track. I mean, I guess you... Holy smokes, Justin Beachley practicing his pit entry at very aggressive speeds. I guess you're out there in spirit, Casey. We got your name sitting right now up on Professor Chronotis' car. There we go. It was Raza and Moira. Moria. I'm actually not sure who that is. And there is Chronotis, currently running 6th. And it looks like that might be where he lands. Can he find, or running in 5th, can he find 6th? That's the question with Shooty.
Can he find 6th? Shooty? What?
If you don't know, you don't know.
Okay, got it. Ali Raza leads right now over JPR, Justin Beachley, Randy Gross, Professor Chronotis, Joshua Worley, Luis Vasquez, George Elmer, Brian Clementi, and Alex Freeman, Joe Khalil. And Spady Budd is the last of the drivers to get to the line, and that'll be the end of his qualifying session, as he should be pulling off right now. And maybe that's not the right way to pull off, but he did pull off there at the end of his qualifying session.
Definitely did. Somebody took out the pit entry sign. Oh, goodness. So much for practicing your pit out or pit entries. Japanese teammates from the Nords 24. Okay, gotcha. Awesome. Here is Alejandro Pulgarin out on circuit. He's one of the first drivers for the rookie plates, or the red plates, to take to the circuit. He participated in the rookie championship earlier and looking to find a potential podium here tonight. Ever since Alejandro's come back, he has been better than ever. I know we mentioned it in the previous run when he had that podium finish. He was a mid-pack driver. Again, there's no other way of saying it. He was not at the top of the pack when he left, but now that he's back after 1 year, 1.5 years, however long it was, he's just better. He's built different. I don't know what to say. Alejandro Pulgarin, everybody.
Way to do it, Pulgarin, in the number 444, sitting in 21st position right now, but that's only because he hasn't got a lap set. And of course, it'll take a lap or two for these drivers to fully heat up their tires before they're setting qualifying times, but the times will come to them soon. We got Swanseger, Grush, Santos, Mora, Philip Lee, Alex Hansen, Dr. Porkchop, Wade Georgeson, Pulgarin, Jaeger Caro, John Wad, Jeff Franks, and Jaya Surya still in the amateur division, and they are all out on track right now, ready to set their times.
Indeed, Moro out on circuit as well, trying to come around the final corner now. He's bit bottlenecked, it seems, for the 37 car. No, he's the car bottlenecking the car behind. My apologies. There we go. The cameraman was focusing there on the other one, it seemed, but he comes to the line and it is going to be enough for a 148.3. Casey Swanseger up into 9th position overall, the 44.9. Alejandro Pulgarin, 2nd position, and Jaeger Karu slots in for that. Right now, though, there is a bit of confusion on the road in the 35. Just needs to back out. That's Josh Grush in the Fear Nothing Moto. His lap's already ruined. He just needs to fall off and, well, live to fight another day, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's Josh Gushers from Fear Nothing Moto in the Mountain Dew Baja Blast livery car, and he's looking pretty good in it, but you're absolutely right. He does just need to back off and then get ready to set his next lap, or maybe he's trying to stay as close as possible to build up as small of a gap that he could possibly gain. That way he doesn't back up into another car who thinks that he's just waving off a couple of laps right now. Here's Arian Santos.
Yeah, Arleon Santos, this is a note of what to do on qualifying. Look at this. He's got nobody in front of him. He's got nobody behind him, and just enough time to set, or enough area to set himself a very nice lap. And he's currently improving massively as a result. Attacks the apex very aggressively, to be fair. That's an early turn and ends up shaving off 1/10 of his time still. And now coming into the final corner complex, he will be improving. His banker lap wasn't the greatest. It was enough for a 147.3. He's looking into the 46s now and potentially into the 45s. We'll see. It's going to be a tough ask, but now to the line, we have a 146.5. Not bad. Nothing to shake a stick at for certain.
146.5 or 145.5 for Alejandro Pulgarin. Joe Khalil just in front of him by a 45.2. Then Alejandro Pulgarin, Jaeger Karu now with a 45.4. He's setting up himself very well here, but I'm interested in what Alex Hansen's about to do. And where is Alex Hansen sitting right now? He's nestled himself up in between some of the pros, and he is all the way up in 11th place. But Casey Swanseger, the real imposter among us in the number 84, has done a 44.667 in the amateur categories. He's top 4 overall. He'll be battling it with the pros for the first of the amateurs in this race.
Yeah, that is quite the time for certain. Alex Hansen here, he is going to come to the line and improve himself, but it's only a mere 2/10, enough to gain a couple positions, but not close to enough. Actually, it is close. The margins are tight. I mean, you look at that mid-pack, there's only 2/10 separating Casey and Alex right now. Jaeger Karu a little bit off the mark, 5.5 tenths. Welcome as well. Shot in frame. Yes, indeed, I am back. As well, thank you very much for the kind words from Brian. I have been told in the past that I have the face of a radio man, but that's, we appreciate it. So thank you very much. And yes, Shooty, Pulgarin, I was just thrilled to have Pulgarin back. It is absolutely a very warm welcome for him.
Go Joshua Worley, cheers in chat for him. Absolutely cheers for Joshua Worley as he's sitting in 7th right now. Got bumped back a position from Casey Swanseger, the imposter among the amateurs, that's for sure. Alex Hansen in P2 right now. Jaeger Caro, Pulgarin, Jeff Franks, Josh Grush, Dr. Porkchop, Phil Lee, Santos, Morera, And we've got Spady Budd and Wade Georgeson rounding it out for the drivers right now. 25 drivers, taking to this championship. John Wad and Matthew Jarasuria finishing out the 24th and 25th of them all. 25 drivers taking to this grid tonight. It's going to be a packed one. What's the format tonight, Mike?
We have a format of, I love that you put me on the spot for that one. It is a 1 mandatory stop for these drivers tonight and a fixed fueling time of 25 seconds. If they would like tires, they have an additional 5 seconds that they would like to, if they would like to take it. That is correct, right?
That is correct. Fixed refueling time of 25 seconds. Not mandatory tire change, but obviously it will just be 5 seconds difference if you decide to elect to take tires. And this might be one of those tracks that we might see some of the drivers try to get 5 seconds advantage on their drivers around them, because it is such a difficult track to overtake on. That 5 second gap could really mean the difference between a top 10 finish and not being in the top 10. So we might see some sneaky strategies from some of these drivers. Ollie Raza, JPR, Justin Beachley might be going for that cheeky undercut strategy, or overcut strategy by staying out long, just taking a splash and dash being 25 seconds, obviously, but then going all the way until the end on the same set of tires that they started the race on.
Yeah, and that might be the strategy. Honestly, Zandvoort, the problem is a very high wear circuit, especially on your left-hand tires. Your rights don't really experience much wear, as this is a 14-corner circuit, 4 turns to the left and 10 of them to the right. And the corners that have the most load, you guessed it, they are in fact right-hand corners, which means that your left-hand side becomes screaming by the end of the race. Your tires get absolutely ballooned if you're not too careful. And it's, up in the air. I don't know what the strategy call will be for a lot of these drivers. We've seen it work both ways, and I have to agree with you. In my opinion, I think the track position might be the important factor, just trying to gain that extra 5 seconds, but I think it depends if you're in a battle or not. If you're going for that undercut, then you might have an opportunity to gain some time, but I don't know. Is the overcut favorable? We saw it at Nords yesterday. The overcut was the favored strategy. So it's just kind of hard to call. Here's Alex Hansen, though, finishing his final lap, and he finds himself one more position for good measure.
Alex Hansen all the way up into 7th place, bumps some more cars further back, and making sweet, sweet, tender love to that tire barrier. He'll have to pay to get replaced here tonight.
Alejandro Pulgarin trying to set the fastest lap. I don't know how much he's improving right now, as again, ACC has decided to be bugged whenever cars are fresh on their first lap. But he is on a valid one, I'm pretty confident. Let's see, as he comes around the final corner here, he's launching himself to the pit lane. No, he is not. He's going to continue the lap here to the line. 1.8 off the ball, 5/10 improvement up into 12th position overall, 3rd in class.
Great job out of Pulgarin, just a couple of tenths in front of Jaeger Karu, and Jaeger Karu still got 1 lap to his name. He'll be the final car, or second to final car, I should say, getting to the line right now, but Jaeger Karu is going to wave off this lap and just pull straight into the pits right now to practice his pit stop strategy, and warps to the pits as soon as he hits that pit speed limiter. And the number 79 car is still out there. That's Phil Lee and the silver barrel car. And he's doing good things in that silver Porsche. And where is he out on track? The number 79, 6/10 up on his previous best. This could promote him up into the top 20. He's nestled into 19th right now, but he might be able to get around Josh Grush and Jeff Franks potentially if he maintains this consistency getting to the line. He uses all the track that he paid for here through the final corner, and he gets to the line. Where does he find himself improving? And he goes all the way up into 17th position ahead of Jeff Franks and Joshua Grush.
And a fun fact redemption in chat. Fun fact, once upon a time, back in 1964, the Beatles visited this circuit, actually as a publicity stunt. They ended up coming here to one of the, I think, Grand Prix and showing off the, the Beatles. They were at this track, so there you go. That wasn't that fun. That was more fun when I read it, to be honest, than it was out loud. We can give another one. How about that? This is a fun fact that I don't think is true. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to need this one fact-checked, but I'm going to say it anyways because it's very fun if it is true. So apparently, the legend behind the corner Tarzan, the Tarzan Bocht, is called that because a farmer only agreed to sell the land if it got named after him, and apparently his name was Tarzan. So, again, I'm going to need that one fact-checked. If that is true, that's pretty epic.
That's pretty epic. The guy had no association with racing other than providing the land over to the racetrack. That's pretty sick. I couldn't imagine this beach land being part of farmland, though. It's pretty sandy and doomy
That's
here.
a really good point when you put it that way. I mean, but I don't know, local farmer. Who knows what they farm in the Netherlands? I mean, I don't know. Is anyone from the? I mean, I'm sure there's a couple people here from the Netherlands. Either way. Let's get on in here and let's meet our drivers for the night, because we do have 25 of them to get down to here. And starting us off at the top, it is going to be Ali Raza, the number 30 Razzle Dazzle McLaren, lined up ahead of JP Reed, the Australian in the Celsius Auto Sports, with Justin Beachley Company in third, the number 18. Casey Swanseger, fourth quickest tonight for the number 84, with Randy Gross in the number 55. Project 55 in fifth. Professor Cronotis, sixth quickest for the number 42, the Trackalicious LSR 24-hour, with Alex Hansen behind in seventh. Joshua Worley, eighth quickest in the Bass Pro Shop Camaro, with Luis Vasquez, the 777, in ninth. Rounding out your top 10, the number 22 of George Elmer in the Simnut Thundercats.
Brian Clementi in the number 100 in 11th place. And then we've got Alejandro Polgari in the 444 is in 12th place. Jaeger Karu is in the 920 in 13th position. Alex Freeman is in 14th for the number 14. Joe Khalil in 15th in the number 26. Dr. Porkchop in the number 71 is in 16th. Phil Lee in the number 79 in 17th position. Jeff Franks, the number 73, is in 18th position. Josh Grush from FNM in the Baja Blast Fear Nothing Moto car is in 19th position. Arlen Santos, the number 75, is in 20th position. Adriano Moro is going to be in 21.
Into 22nd position, Spady Bud for the number 21, with Wade Georgeson, the 707, in the 23rd slot. John Wad, 24th quickest tonight for the number 95, the 95 MCL. And rounding out the back of the grid, last but not least, in 25th position, we see Matthew Jayasuriya starting off in the pits. 25 drivers all starting off here on this, 2.5 or 2.6 mile circuit, 4.2 kilometers, founded back in 1948, 14 corners, 4 to the left and 10 to the right, with a whopping 29 feet or 9 meters of elevation for these drivers to tackle. All of that happening through the infamous shy block that we've seen some incidents leading up to tonight, Saagar, and I'm hoping in this GT4 Open category we see a little bit less bumping and banging.
I think we will see a little less bumping and banging. We've got some AMs mixed up with the pros, and I think everybody knows that they're not really driving for position in their class, but position overall. So it will be important and imperative for them to drive cleanly here tonight, and I'm sure that they will do so. Especially the AMs that participated in the Open earlier on tonight. They'll have some more terms and more time beneath them for this track, so they'll have some better times coming at them time after time, lap over lap.
And I gotta say, Cronotis has, or I should say Shooty has, in fact, cursed Cronotis into 6th position. So that is amazing. You put the name of Shooty on your car, and congratulations, you're going to finish in 6th. Well, we'll see if that transitions over into race pace, or the quali pace reigns true. And some say that's fate. Others may say that it is, in fact, a curse, but I absolutely love that it's a curse that we've brought to reality.
Looking good out on track there for the 6-shooter, but hopefully not ending up in 6 for Professor Kenotis, the number 42. He'll hopefully be out there to improve by a little bit of time. Forgot to press drive there for Slez Live. Unfortunate for him. That's an unforced error.
Yeah, that's Matthew Jayasuriya, I'm assuming, as they're the only driver to do so. And very unfortunate. Hopefully you can get back out there, have a good time. Anyways, I'm sure there'll be some drivers to race with, as this is Zandvoort. And you should catch that backpack up pretty quick with the traffic that we expect here. But the drivers now rearing and ready to go as everybody comes into the line here and gets in their start place formation. Ollie Raza up at the top here as they line up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation to round the final corner. Behind him, JP Reed, or rather alongside is JP Reed, which it says that he doesn't have a pit start. It also says he's in third. I think neither, or doesn't have one mandatory stop. I don't know why that is. I don't think that's true, though. As we get ready to get into it here, though, the Christmas tree is alight. We have all the drivers ready to go. Ollie Raz at the top, JP Reed in second, and we are going to be coming across the line here and getting ready to go. Green, 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 and the Audi is off to a commanding start. JP Reed going to be challenging to the outside pretty much immediately. Both of the two, though, shot out of the corner like a cannon. The switchback attempt for JP Reed, he does back out of that behind the Project 5-5 of Randy Gross. He's trying to go for fourth position right now. Casey Swanseger ahead of him. Behind that, Professor Chronotis trying to hold on as Alex Hansen goes to the outside, but it's more of a defensive offensive move there as Josh Worley goes full send baseball. He gets by. He's trying to fish for some action in the Bass Pro Shop, and he manages to find it. Alex under threat, though, still from these two behind. Luis Vasquez, though, and George Elmer firmly occupied with each other, and they need to get in line here as they approach the long right-hander of Shivlock.
Joshua Worley able to get around Alex Hansen. George Elmer able to get past Vasquez. Pulgarin got past Clementi. Freeman's getting past Jaeger Carr. And we've got Josh Grush tumbling down the order with Arlen Santos as well. 2 positions gained for John Wad, Wade George, and Spady Budd, and Adriano Moro right now. Jeff Franks able to get around Phil Lee. Spady Budd up 3 positions overall. Started off in 22nd position. Now promoted in 19th position overall. It's all nip and tuck right there for the front leaders, the front 6. Nothing changed at all between all of them. They just filed in single file line right now, but I doubt it'll stay that way for very long, Mike.
Oh, it's not going to stay the same behind right now as Pulgarin feeling the pressure from Clementi, and it's going to be the weight of the world on his shoulders, it seems. Now, the one thing is Pulgarin doesn't need to really fight this for the most part, and Clementi, he knows that it's a true statement. Oh my goodness. That is Jaeger Karu going fully into the gravel there for a bit of a trip to the kitty litter. I don't know. Pulgarin going defensive. Now, this surprises me. I would like to see Pulgarin not waste his time defending from Clementi and just allow the likes of these white plate drivers to go on by. These are not in-class battles, but the one thing is that it's keeping a bit of a bolster to Dr. Porkchop, who's 3 positions behind. That was a very calculated move, though. Pulgarin runs wide. Actually, I don't think he intended to do that now that I'm looking at it again. That was a mistake from Pulgarin that allowed Clementi by, but Clementi, he's smiling.
Yeah, Brian Clementi is smiling, getting past Pulgarin. Pulgarin now is going to have to defend. Who is that behind him? That's Alex Freeman tucked in behind in that other McLaren. And Alex Freeman has some positions to work his way up into the field to get past these amateurs to get back to his class division. Alex Freeman defending from Joe Khalil, Dr. Porchop, Jeff Franks right now. And we've got nip and tuck battles all the way up the grid right now. Pulgarin is still 2/10 back from Clementi. Vasquez 4/10 away from George Elmer. Alex Hansen just 3/10 away from Joshua Worley. The battle for 8th and 7th is still continuing in front of us. Joshua Worley now really close behind Professor Chronotis, even getting under a half a second right now. Alex Hansen, none. Let's switch over to the battle between 8th right now. And Joshua Worley and Alex Hansen having a little bit of a moment there, touching on the entrance to the final chicane. It looks like Alex Hansen's going to hold it on the inside line, go over some of those snousages. And the 22 is now going to get the move done and dusted around the outside line, potentially. Alex Hansen, flashy of the headlights, with a little bit of frustration, expecting to get a little bit more track real estate than that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but you know, that's racing. I don't want to say it, but it is. You know, you're in a different category, and the other cars know that, to be fair, and they're not going to treat you with the most respect, which is not correct. I'm not advising that, but it is the reality of the situation for the most part. And we're seeing that now, to be honest. You can see the impatience from George Elmer trying to go left there when the defense is to the right from Alex Hansen. And again, you know, I go back to the fact that Alex doesn't really need to fight these positions as hard as he is. He's giving it every bit of effort, and the flash of the headlights for the Bass Pro Shop there. Fair enough. I mean, you know, like I said, I don't mind a bit of flashing. It is what it is. You know, it's not going to bother me. If I'm Joshua Worley, though, I just don't really care.
I don't mind a little bit of flashing either, Mike. I'll show you what I've got. If I don't like it, I'll show you exactly what I'm made out of, and that's what it is. It's a little bit of showing a little bit of what you're made out of, and maybe trying to distract the driver in front as well. And maybe that's what he's trying to do, just distract Joshua Worley there a little bit. George Elmer now trying to get past in that Thundercats car. And there he goes up the inside line, gets past Alex Hansen for just a brief moment. Alex Hansen has the inside line going in towards 11, it looks like. Able to defend pretty well. Elmer squeezed there by Alex Hansen. A little bit too much there. And then now going into the final chicane, it looks like Alex Hansen still leads on George Elmer.
I think he thought he was clear there, to be fair. I don't think he did that intentionally, but that was a less than ideal squeeze, to be said, from Alex Hansen. You just got to be more aware of where your rear quarter panel is for certain. That's a long AMG, so it's like I said, I think he thought he was fully by when he moved over, and then all of a sudden he's getting turned around, and he's like, oh, shoot, no, I'm maybe not quite fully by yet. Well, let's see if George Elmer can get fully by on this next lap here, approaching the 4th lap. And to the inside, are we going to see a move? No, not quite. It's a half-hearted move, to be completely honest, is just trying to force a reaction out of Alex Hansen, but you got to wake up pretty early in the morning to catch Alex Hansen sleeping like that.
Alex Freeman already taking to a pit stop already, the number 14. Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think his tires are going to be suffering later on as a result, but I mean, he's out of this traffic, to be fair. If he can consistently lap in the 44s, he will find an advantage, but if he ever gets caught slipping, then I think that is a less than ideal strategy. He needs to keep it within the 44s just to be, like I say, 100% frank, if not, yeah. Beyond that, up at the front here... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a joke about, did you mean Jeff Franks, or you just meant, are you Frank?
Okay, moving on swiftly, as we see Luis Vasquez and the 777 going a bit deep. This is the phase in which we kind of settle in, you know? If you want to go and get some popcorn, now might be the time, because we're not going to be seeing that much movement on Zandvoort. It's just kind of the nature of the beast on this track. We're going to see the alternate pit phases, like we say, with the likes of Alex Freeman coming in early. We also had Matthew Jayasuriya coming in as well. So 2 early stops to maybe go for a gamble somewhere and try something. And actually, Jayasuriya, excuse me, he started in pit lane. That's not actually a pit stop now that I think about it. But here we go. George Elmer is trying to prove me wrong here and make me eat my words. Let's see if he does so into the first corner. I suspect no, as Alex Hansen has it fairly covered off here.
Let's switch over to the battle between 12th and 13th for just a moment. Alejandro Pulgarin and Joe Khalil. Khalil is trying to make a look up the inside line. He was a lot closer coming out of the final corner, but not quite able to produce anything. Dr. Porkchop lurking and lingering in the background. The number 71 in 14th position overall.
And continuing the fight on is Dr. Porkchop, looking into the inside of Joe Khalil there. That's a very opportunistic corner to make a move on. Still one mandatory stop to be made for all of these drivers. We're only 7 minutes in right now, still 37 left to go. So we're going to be waiting an awful long while before we see these drivers elect to come in for a fresh set of rubber, and everybody around them maybe going for a different strategic play. Thank you very much to T1GZ81 Honda for the follow. Welcome to the team.
Welcome indeed. Thank you very much for joining us here at TRACKILICIOUS. All of your love and support does not go unnoticed. Thank you very much to everybody being here to give us love and support and keep us entertained during some of these races. It looks like Jeff Franks is a little bit deep and wide there going into turn 11. Well, he's got the car collected, and here's Adriano Moro leading over, it looks like, Jaeger Karu right now. Jaeger Karu is trying to snap back up the outside line here as we're about to go into the final chicane, but I don't think he's got enough distance there to close down the gap. Late on the brakes for Jaeger Karu, tucks back into behind Adriano Moro, and it's single file line for these two drivers as well.
Ooh, but that's a little bit of an off-track excursion for the McLaren. Moro needs to be a bit more careful. The green limit road car picking up some green on the inside. Is that going to compromise his run onto the start-finish straight? More than likely not. I think by the time he gets around that final corner, oh, well, okay, it won't matter because Karu is going on the offensive, but more on his own offensive and weaving left and right to try to get the grass off of his tires. I don't think it works like that, Jaeger, but he goes for the move. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that wasn't going to work.
I think he had plenty of room there as he's been practicing for 2 whole races now. I think Caro knew exactly where he needed to position his car behind Adriano Moro, who is not there for race 1 or race 2 of the rookies race, but obviously has put in enough practice to know how to do so. Looking back at Alejandro Pulgarin and Joe Khalil, the gap is now separated by around 0.4 of a second. The battle between 12th and 13th right now. The 444 leads the number 26 of Joe Khalil in the Khalil camo car. He's got the 2-tone livery associated with him, and Jeff Frank's going for a little bit of excursion, perhaps needing to go to the restroom in that kitty litter gravel back there. And he comes back on track right in front of, we're going to see a replay of what happened here for the number 73.
Now we are. The button decided not to work. Oh,
73 getting caught a little bit off guard there at turn 10, it looks like, and late on the brakes, braked in a straight line to avoid some carnage, and just narrowly avoiding running into the back of Dr. Porkchop, if I believe that's correct.
Yeah, fully unforced
we did another
error. Again, it was mistimed slightly there. We're good. That was my bad. As apparently my mouse cursor is not hitting the right location when I hit the replay button, so.
All is good. Joe Khalil and Alejandro Pulgarin, the closest battles out on track right now. 3/10 separating these two drivers. The battle for 12th and 13th, but obviously not battling it out for position in their classes, but for position overall.
Yeah, and
thank you, Adam Strange, for the hydrate.
That is a great call, honestly. The hydrate is going to be a pretty crucial here coming up. Joe Khalil, you know, like I say, he's going to be not wanting to waste too much time here because he is Brian Clementi. Okay, here we go. On cue. He doesn't waste any time. It gets by with relative ease. Alejandro Pulgarin off into the grass and says, you go, boy. And Joe Khalil tips his hat and says, thank you very much. Remember the Simpsons comics? There were Ninja Pandas. I'm going to be honest, I have never read a comic book before. Believe it or not. No, that's not true. Garfield. Garfield was my favorite back in elementary school, so there is that. But I've never read any of those comics. I've never been a Superman guy or a Batman, Spider-Man, Marvel, DC. Mike hates comics. I don't hate comics. I just don't like them. I don't like reading. How about that? Is that better? I don't like reading anything. Battle, though, on here for 17th. Again, another off battle as this is out of position. Josh Grush battling with Spady Bud. This is white plate versus red plate, so not the most important battle when it comes to positions. And Josh trying to get it going here. He goes to the inside, but there is no daylight. Trying to fit 2 Camaros on Zandvoort side by side is, well, a bit of a tight squeeze, to be honest. Kind of like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Just trying to find out who is Jaeger Caro chasing right now. That's Adriano Moro, of course, in the number 37 car. And they're staying pretty nip and tuck right now. And this is a 4-way battle that's about to be brewing up. And it might go 2x2 here in towards turn 1. There goes Grush taking a look on the inside line. More than just a look, he's acting on it. Turns Spady Bud around there, and Spady Bud caught with his pants down at the end of turn 1. And now he's going for those epic Spady Bud sponsored donuts here at turn 1. And we're about to see a replay of what happened here.
Yeah, so let's get a different angle, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, Spady Bud, you got to leave room, brother. You got to leave room at the apex. I'll be honest, that's a controversial one because, you know, was the car fully alongside? No. But Spady Bud knows that that move is coming, and so turning in there, like I say, you know what's going to happen in that situation when you turn in if you are Spady Bud, and he kind of reaped what he sowed. Was it his fault? No, it wasn't. Like I said, let me go back. Let me backpedal here slightly. Was it his fault? No. But could he have prevented it? Yes.
Sure, absolutely. Could he have prevented it? Yes. Was he obligated to leave the racing room on the inside? I don't think so by the rules of racing there at Tracklicious. But then again, just like a pedestrian crossing the road at the wrong time, you can be right, but you can also be involved in a fatal accident. So you can be right and dead at the same time. And I think Spady Bud caught himself in the latter part of that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And, like I say, it's when I mention that, is a lot of people say, well, he shouldn't get a penalty. No, he shouldn't get a penalty whatsoever. But he got his own penalty with his own actions. He knew what was going to happen there. And we'll like I say, we'll leave it at that. I've spoke my piece on that one, and the stewards will take it from here.
Absolutely. Let's check out Joshua Worley in the battle for P7 right now. And he's chasing down Professor Chronotis. Joshua Worley in 7th, chasing down Chronos in the 6th place position, McLaren right now. And they're doing a good job of keeping it very close out on track. Joshua Worley able to produce 44.9s compared to Chronotis' 45.152. And JPR is about 3.6 off of the leader right now, who is Ali Raza with a best lap time of 43.64. And it looks like JPR.
Chrono here, a little out of shape as Joshua Worley trying to take full advantage of that. But up ahead, we have a three-way scrap here, it seems, with Randy Gross going for a move to the outside of Casey Swanseeger. Casey intelligently, though, just allows the faster car by. That is heads-up decision-making from Casey Swanseeger. He could have defended that easily. Oh, my goodness. Chronotis is being a real thorn in the side right now. Joshua Worley muscling his way alongside Alex Hansen. Alex gets shoved off the track there briefly. He's going to have to try to go back down to the inside of the first corner. Is it going to be covered, though, by the McLaren? Chronotis already tucking out, not giving Joshua Worley one bit of slipstream. And as he reaches the braking zone, he moves back over to the racing line, but that leaves the door open. Joshua Worley to the inside. It's a hip check at the apex, and he is having absolutely none of the defense from Chronotis. The Camaro using its speed, using its momentum to shove itself on by. Chronotis onto the grass. Joshua Worley out of shape, and Alex Hansen is the one to benefit. He gets 2 positions for free.
Wow, amazing driving from these guys. And again, same move that we saw earlier between himself and Spady Bud. But now it's gone the other way. Alex Hansen was able to capitalize on the 2 cars battling it out. He did this last race as well, just tucking into the slipstream. That's how he made up so many positions in that first race. And now he's doing it all over again, really biding his time and being careful with the moves that he does elect to take. And this was definitely one of the ones that he can highlight and send himself home with for sure. He's now in 2nd place, right behind Casey Swanseeger. He's only about 2.5 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, away from Swanseeger. Yes, he is 2.5 seconds away from Swanseeger, and we just got a glimpse of him right in front. And now Chronotis on the charge, chasing down Alex Hansen behind.
Big thank you. Ooh, Chronotis not quite having it there. A big thank you to Les Magnificents for... I think that's how you say that. I don't know. That was definitely wrong, but either way, it's what I'm going with. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the team here at Trackalicious. And I didn't mention any female superheroes. You're right. What is the name of the female superhero with a spatula? She was dope. The big spatula.
Wow, Mike, you're about to get yourself canceled.
Well, she's pretty cool.
Of course, you pick the one female character who has a cooking utensil in her hand. You're gonna get us canceled, Mike Nause. You're gonna get us canceled.
That's not at all what I had intended, to be fair. Not at all what I was going for. But okay, I've just gotten thrown under the bus by my colleague. Thank you very much for that one.
You could have picked Cassandra Cain, the one person that Adam Strange continually brings up in chat all the time, Cassandra Cain. I don't know who she is or what she does, but I would say Cassandra Cain is my favorite Adam Strange. Please don't cancel me at your earliest convenience.
Anyways, moving swiftly on from that one, because I have been digging a hole with a backhoe at this point, not even a shovel, and Scuderia Fantozzi with a raiding party of 9. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream, Fantozzi, and thank you for all of the viewers here. Oh goodness, that's a side-by-side collision. Alex Hansen and Casey Swanseeger, the two of the lead rookies, have come together on this lap. Let's see if we can maybe pull up a replay here. It works this time. And there's Casey getting out of shape, and Alex Hansen just doesn't react. I think he thought he was going to make it by and just didn't. Very unfortunate. The rate of death, says Scuderia Fantozzi. And yeah, that certainly was.
Oh man, super unfortunate. Like you said, I thought he was probably going to get by as well, but just by the skin of his teeth, he collides with Swansinger, inherits that position. Not the way he wanted to, but he did end up getting by for his position overall. But he's going to have a significant amount of damage right now, and he's probably going to have to get that repaired in the pits. Here comes Beachley into the pits, then the cat car.
Yeah, the first of our pit stops tonight, Casey Swanseeger. Oh, well, okay, follows into pit lane and into the wall. That's a little hot of an entry, but that's what the wall is for, right? I mean, he's going to need to repair that damage anyways. What's a couple extra seconds, right? No, that's not advised. Practice your pit entries, everybody. PSA. Oh, goodness. It is mistake minute now. It's within at the 25-minute mark, everybody is crumbling, it seems, when it comes to just self-inflicted error after self-inflicted error. Brian Clementi finds himself victim to one now.
Yeah, Brian Clementi as well, getting caught up in the amateur train of collisions now. But now let's look at the leaderboard and let's find out. Ali Raza leading by 5.7 seconds over JPR. Both of those drivers in clear air right now. And that's your 1, 2, 3 for Randy Gross. Professor Canotis, George Elmer, Luis Vasquez, Alex Hansen, Brian Clementi, Joe Khalil, and Dr. Porkchop rounding out your top 10. Josh Grush from FNM is only 0.3 away from Jeff Franks right now. The battle for 11th and 12th overall is very close, and it looks like Jeff Franks is right underneath the rear wing of that. Jeff Franks is right underneath. Joshua Grush is right underneath the rear wing of Jeff Franks, but also Jaeger Karu is underneath the rear wing of Josh Grush. Boy, that was hard to get out. I apologize.
No worries. Squatchmonger, well, I would have given the spot back to Chrono, but didn't get the chance to. Unfortunate. Did you have an incident? What was... I'm sorry. In-game names and Twitch names I'm very bad with, to be honest. Unfortunate.
Squatchmonger, Joshua Worley.
Is it Josh? Oh, it is? Wait, what happened to Worley?
Joshua Worley and Chrono up the inside there at turn 1, if I remember correctly.
Gotcha. Got a better memory than mine. Justin Beachley, though, he's fresh out of pit lane and found himself in the worst possible position he could. This is why you don't go for the early pit stops if you're at the front, to be completely honest. And Justin Beachley, he's getting punished. He needs to get by, and thankfully for him, Spady Bud comes into pit lane. That could have just been an absolute heap of time lost for Beachley.
Isn't necessarily early. We've almost cut this race in half as Jeff Franks has a Beachley moment as he's beached himself over the grass, going over the curbs there. He falls back behind Joshua Grush and Jaeger Karu, but we're about the halfway point right now, so I feel like it was maybe the earliest of the early pit stops, splitting this race down the middle. And let's see, did he take tires? Justin Beachley with a 27.9 stationary, potentially not taking tires this time out, if my timing is correct.
Yeah, not taking tires for sure. It'd be over a 30-second stop if you do elect to take tires. And Beachley, I'm curious how much time he got held up on that outlap. He got held up maybe 1 second, so net gaining 4 seconds if the drivers around him do elect to take tires, which is not the trend. It's about 50-50 right now. I'm seeing about half the field take tires. I'm seeing half the field not. I like these. Honestly, like I say, it's hard to call because if you don't take tires, your lefts are going to be on fire by the end of the race. And if you do have somebody that does take new tires around you, you're going to be under very heavy pressure.
Arlen Santos, Spady Bud. Arlen Santos getting a stop-go 30 right now, right in front of Spady Bud, and we're not going to go watch that battle at all. I'm sure there's something better to go pay attention to, as they just ended in calamity right there. Josh Grush from FNM into the pit lane, Jaeger Caro right in front of him. And who else is in the pit? Randy Gross, Ali Raza, Joe Khalil, Alex Hansen, Jaeger Caro, and Josh Grush rounding it out for the pit stoppers this time around.
Yeah, we just missed it, but Casey Swanseger got by Arlen Santos with ease. I don't know if that was a battle or if Santos... I just found that, I mean, he's got the battle. He's got the damage on the front end. I don't think he really is too intent on holding up Casey for an extended period of time. He knows the writing is on the walls for that one. Alex Freeman already has made his pit stop. He's good to go to the end. Alejandro Polgarin still needing to pit. He is remaining out on circuit, though, for the limited time. Ali Raza came in for his stop. Justin Beachley as well. And looking at the time advantage, Ali Raza did take tires and still has a lead over the rest of the field.
Arlen Santos being involved with that incident with Spady Bud. That's how Casey Swanseger was able to get by relatively easy with no incident there. That just to give a quick update. Jaeger Caro now coming out of the pit lane, and he's going to be coming out right in front of Phil Lee and about 7.5 seconds away from Joshua Grush. Joshua Grush electing to not take tires, being the big separator between Jaeger Caro and Josh Grush right now.
Yeah, and Casey Swanseger also now has found himself on the back of Phil Lee, trying to make that progress back up after the brief time loss that he has experienced. Chronotis trying to go the long way around of Alejandro Polgarin, who has not made a pit stop yet, and now being a real cork in the bottle for Chrono, as he tries to go left and again right, but no, Alejandro is not playing the game. He is just being a bit of a nuisance, to be completely honest. But again, there's no rules saying that he has to move out of the way. There's no blue flag flying, and even if there was, it's just a intent to not hold up the other drivers. But Alejandro, I think, almost certainly should come into pit lane because he is wasting a lot of time with this defense.
Yeah, Alejandro Polgarin, that BMW has seen some better days. That front bonnet flapping there in the wind right in front of Professor Chronotis, and Chronotis with a 27.5 second stationary has not taken tires either. Polgarin opting to come in for that pit stop just now at the 20-minute mark, or right around the 19.5-minute mark now. JPR leads Dr. Porkchop, both of those drivers not taking the pit stop, not taking tires or their pit stops just yet. And I'm sure after seeing Ali Raza and Justin Beachley's strategy, they're going to have to pick between the two different strategies and determine how much time they want to make up on track.
Well, I think they've already decided at this point they're going for no tires. There's no point in taking tires at this stage of the race, because by the time they come to the checkered flag, one half of your tires isn't even going to be up to temperature yet. So you might as well stick it out on the old set of rubber right now and just elect for the time loss that you've made your bed. You got to lie in it now. I don't know if it's going to amount to a time loss or a gain. Again, the strategy is kind of up in the air right now, and it seems to be a straight up coin flip on which is going to work, but these two, again, they definitely have made the choice that they are not taking tires at this stage.
Yeah, JPR is still performing at those 44 threshold that you were talking about earlier on in the race, that threshold to kind of meet or exceed to stay out as long as possible. But Dr. Porkchop now coming into the pit lane right now on this last lap, and he gets neatly to the timing line and just breaks there just in the nick of time to not get a penalty of sorts, hopefully. And JPR electing to stay out for as long as possible now, inheriting the lead of the race still. He's in the number 15 Audi GT4 car.
Yeah, not necessarily known for its tire saving is the Audi, but JP Reed tonight is clearly doing a good job of doing exactly that. You mentioned the fact that he is still within that threshold, the 44s. He's only 1 second off of his fastest lap. He does need to come in eventually here, obviously. One mandatory stop is required. And so he will make that, obviously. But JP Reed just been smashing it. Consistency has been key for him, and he just hasn't been abusing the tires like some of the other drivers around him. Now, Ali Raza is setting fastest laps currently, but he took a set of boots at the pit stop because he was far enough ahead to not really even warrant any pressure from Beachley. Beachley got a 5-second boost, and he's still 7.5 seconds to the good. And there, JP Reed goes in.
And this is going to be really close coming out of the pit lane right now. It's about 49 seconds, and there was a 47-second deficit to Ali Raza as he entered the pit lane. So this will really be tricky for JPR and for Ali Raza coming out of the pit lane right now. If Ali Raza gets a little held up right now coming into the final quarter, JPR could still hold on to the lead of this race and the track position, but I doubt that'll be the case. That 2-second margin will be hard to beat unless JPR has some working magic underneath him for his pit stoppers.
Yeah, I think 53 seconds is pretty typical, or 40. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have the window here to come out ahead. Ali Raza had quite the lead in the first place, and as JP Reed now is still stationary, Ali Raza is up to top speed coming down the start-finish straight, and he has made it by a good amount of time. It's Justin Beachley, the driver that I'm gonna be asking if he comes out ahead or not, and it seems he does. But does Justin Beachley have the momentum to potentially gain a position? No, he's actually 4.5 seconds off, and all the drivers in these positions not electing to take tires. It has, well, not really, it's been a wash for everybody, just to be honest.
Yeah, when everybody's on the same strategy, it's really nobody's gained, nobody's lost, right? Like you said earlier, if everybody's on the same strategy or working with the same deficit, then nobody really gains or loses in this one. Luis Vasquez being the next driver to take tires, as well as George Elmer, Alex Freeman, and Alex Hansen now battling it out right now. And it looks like Alex Hansen was able to get around Freeman as they were working their way past one of those cars, being the McLaren, I believe, who is a back marker out there on circuit right now. That might be John Watt in the number 95. It is John Watt in the number 95.
And nice work from him. He's just getting out of the way very safely and not getting in anyone's race. Very respectful decisions to be made. Alex Freeman, I think he got caught out of shape from Alex Hansen, and I don't know if there was contact or not, but either way, it seemed when we tuned back to that position getting lost, Alex Freeman was a little bit offline, and that made the difference in the position at the end of the day. Battle's still on here for Joshua Worley and Joe Khalil. This is for 11th position, just outside of the top 10. Is the Bass Pro Shop and the Cali Camo. Hard to spot this car, as obviously it is halfway camouflaged, halfway not, and he goes fully alongside, but I don't think he's going to have the run, or is he? Holy smokes. How did he get such a good exit? Okay, Joshua Worley keeps his foot in it, and he's going to continue to when he gets the position done in one of the least opportunistic moves I think I've ever seen. He just muscles his way on by with a Camaro. I have no idea how that worked.
Joshua Worley's putting down lap times. His last one was a 45 flat, basically, is 46.1 for Joe Khalil, so just sacrificing a little bit of the entry speed for the exit speed to be able to get that one done. He pulled that one off like a GT3 car would. Right now, Ali Raza leads JPR, Justin Beachley, Randy Gross, Professor Carnotis, Luis Vasquez, George Elmer, Alex Hansen, Alex Freeman, Professor Carnotis with a yellow flag right now. I think everything is not going well for him right now. Let's take a quick replay, Mike.
This is an unforced error, I can already tell you that. And let's see what caused it. Going over the curbs? No, just going in too deep. A lapse of judgment from Chrono. He tries to get on the power to keep himself out of the wall there. Intelligent reactions from Chrono, but at the end of the day, he was a passenger and there was nothing he could do.
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing he can do, but Chrono now getting chased down by Alex Freeman, and that McLaren in front of him is going to have a lot of damage compared to the McLaren behind, who's seemingly doing okay. Both of them on the same tire strategy. There goes Alex Freeman up the inside line at turn 10, able to get the move done and dusted. Chronotis there just like a sitting duck, unable to quack any longer.
He's going to try to come back, though, to the outside, but as you said, the damage on that McLaren, I think, is going to be just great enough to be affecting the straight line speed, which is going to make the difference in equal machinery. If you have a wounded craft versus a non-wounded one, you can see late on the brakes, Chrono thinks about it, but that is such an ambitious look if he wants to go for it. He's going to keep with them, still keeping him honest. Chronotis, to be fair, has the lap times to back up his talk. He had a 45.7 last time around compared to the 48.0 of Freeman. So the pace firmly in the favor of Chrono, but that was with a fully repaired McLaren. That wasn't with one that had the sticky outy bits maybe beaten and bruised on this previous lap.
No sticky Audi bits beaten and bruised on this one, and he's doing a great job keeping it nice, calm, cool, and collected for the final 12 minutes of this race, and things are looking neat and tidy for most of the drivers. Alex Hansen chasing down George Elmer by quite a bit of time. He's got 2 tenths separating him. The battle for 6th and 7th rages on pretty swiftly.
And Alex Hansen trying to go for any well, again, this is not for a position, though. This is in... Alex is a risky one, okay? This is clearly a trend that Alex Hansen, excuse me, likes to do, is race drivers that are quicker than him. And to be fair, that's how you learn how to drive. However, when you have a championship on the line and you're going to go full send on these other drivers, you need to be aware of the risks. You need to be aware of the consequences that you can, in fact, face. And he is risking an unnecessary crash, if you ask me. Alex Hansen here just kind of needs to bide his time, be patient, and settle for the first that he's already gained himself. There's really no chance at this point to even defend, or really to even attack, like I say. And even defend. Alex Freeman, if he was to catch, he should really just let him go.
Alex Hansen actually producing faster lap times. Last lap around 45.1 compared to 45.7 of George Elmer. So he is battling for position overall, but like you said, not in class, and he is battling a car that's a hair bit slower than him, but he's got no really ego to lose here by getting around him, except for just for bragging rights. Like you said, he's well ahead of Swansiger, who's in 16th right now after that massive incident that Swansiger had. Stationary for 66 seconds. He incurred quite a bit of damage now, which was really what slowed him down and sent him further down the pack.
Yeah, and you mentioned the bragging rights, right? Where it's like, okay, cool, I'm going to finish in 6th instead of 7th, or I'm going to finish in 1st instead of 1st. When you say it out loud and you think about what you're actually saying, it makes a little bit more sense to say, wait a second, maybe I just stay put and take the 1st rather than risk getting last, because in order, obviously, to finish first you have to finish, and you're just risking it unnecessarily if you go for something that's just off the cards. And I don't want to say we've seen that tonight. We certainly haven't seen it from Alex Hansen. He's been on the ball. He's been absolutely perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of damage on the front end of his Porsche in this race, but for the most part, he has had just pixel perfect placement of his machine throughout the entire night. And, just keep it simple is my advice here for the 390.
I was going to say Alex Hansen has not been a low percentage move kind of a guy. All of his moves have been very high percentage. He's been doing a very good job driving tonight, and that confidence is just getting to him. Professor Carnotis there on the inside line of Alex Hansen. Inside line turning into the outside line very quickly, though, or inside line turning into the inside line, I should say, as there goes Alex Hansen deep and off into the gravel there, and Alex Hansen rejoining the track in front of Professor Carnotis, but just for a smidgen, as Professor Carnotis is able to go to the outside line, but they're still side by side for just a hair. Alex Freeman has to back out of that one, and Chrono is back through one more time.
Yeah, Freeman there putting up a fight of a lifetime, but he needed to hand that position back. That was not... you don't go for off-track overtakes, as we well know from Formula One, right? Right? Anyways, moving swiftly on from that. Alex Freeman trying to go for it again. 8 minutes and 28 seconds left. He has a long ways to go before the checkered flag, but as the clock whittles down, time is not in the favor here of the 14 McLaren.
The number 14 McLaren producing lap times in that 48.03 lap time compared to Professor Carnotis at last lap around 47.3 for him. You're so weak. When your shadow box, your shadow wins, my brother to me after I couldn't lift a car. Adam Strange keeping it lively in chat. Thank you very much for being here, Adam Strange. Is Alex Hansen related to that old TV star Chris Hansen? I don't believe so, and I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think so whatsoever. Moving on. George Elmer is in 6th position right now, 2 seconds off of Luis Vasquez. There's another position potentially on the cards for Elmer, despite the fact that Hansen is pressuring him. Maybe Hansen has lit a fire under the seat of Elmer. I think he's been looking so much behind, he's kind of just hasn't really thought about the battle ahead, and now he's like, oh shoot, Luis Vasquez is coming into grips here, and Elmer, well, he might be thinking about gluing himself to the back bumper here relatively soon.
Can George Elmer produce any faster lap times, though? 45.3 for him compared to the 45.7 of Luis Vasquez. Hansen with those 45.5s last lap around. Let's see what they do getting to the line right now. I imagine Alex Hansen will be a bit quicker. He is pulling off the exact same lap time as George Elmer, just a couple of thousand separating the two drivers. 3 thousandths between the two of them, 45.062 to a 065 for Hansen. And they are going a little bit faster than Luis Vasquez. They should be able to catch before the end of this race. Luis Vasquez driving the 777 BMW out in front of this trio right now.
Yeah, and kind of struggling. As you mentioned, does George Elmer need to find any more pace? I don't think he does. He's just been consistently catching Vasquez, and with 6.5 minutes left, we still have 4-ish laps to go. I think it's just a matter of when, not if, at this point, that George Elmer finds the back bumper of Luis Vasquez and goes for a move. He does need to worry about Alex Hansen. That's another driver, of course, that is going to just be an ever-present thought in his mind that can get in the way of him finding positions overall. So that's really where Alex can kind of play a rear gunner seat for Vasquez if he wants, but I don't think Hansen has any biases in terms of Elmer or Vasquez. But he's going to be looking for those glory points anyways, we know it. He wants to finish in the highest position that he can overall. It's not about the in-class win for him, which I can respect, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be just for glory points. It's going to be for all the glory, all the marbles that he can gather up. And that Simnut Thundercats car is looking awfully tasty like a snack in front of him. Chasing down the AMG will be one thing. Catching and passing that BMW will be an entirely different thing. 5.5 minutes left to go on the clock. I'm not sure there will be enough time for them to produce these lap times to be that consistent. The gap is coming down to around 1 second right now. George Elmer chasing down Luis Vasquez. Alex Hansen 1 second away from George Elmer now. The time is slinking back and forth, now producing 45.2s between the two of them, Elmer and Alex Hansen. Let's take a look at the battle between 10th and 11th right now. Brian Clementi and Joshua Worley getting awfully close. 3:10 separating them on track as they head towards turn 1 Tarzan, Mike.
Yeah, and I do definitely want to keep an eye on that battle because I 100% think Elmer's going to get that position over Vasquez. Vasquez is struggling right now. Worley, though, he has not been struggling. He has been flying through the track tonight. Whoa, almost collects the rear panel there of Clementi, but Worley, ever vigilant, he takes to the outside line there and has to go for the less than ideal angle of the corner, not quite getting the best exit possible, but the Camaro using its legs now as it unleashes the American horsepower here at Zandvoort. Down through Scheivlock to Masters Corner they go. Will he be making a move into turn 10? Well, no, he won't need to. Masters is where it'll be, and Joshua Worley, a master of opportunity, he gets by Brian Clementi.
Squirrely Whirly finding himself into the top 10 right now in front of Brian Clementi, but Clementi is going to snap back at any opportunity that he can. The two drivers have been battling it out for pretty much half of this race, and it looks like Brian Clementi not electing to take tires, and those tires finally fading away from him. 46.1 to his name compared to a 45.3 for Joshua Worley. Here's the trio. It's all come down to just a couple of 3/10 battles between Luis Vasquez, George Elmer, and Alex Hansen right now. The BMW, the 777 leads the 22, leads the 390 of Alex Hansen.
Yeah, and we got 2 laps left, potentially 3 if we are lucky to see this battle unfold. Vasquez knows what to do. He goes for the heavy defense. Needs to park it, though, in the center of the track, and he doesn't. He doesn't run it wide in time there. He allows George Elmer to the outside. Thankfully, though, George didn't have a good enough run. Elmer not quite in the proper position there to make that move happen. Vasquez left the door wide open for the move, but that is something that Elmer's going to be noting in his head. He's going to say, oh, I know that for next time. That is where I'm going to be making my move. But you got to be careful, Elmer. Not be dipping your tire off into the grass too much because Hansen is there to pounce.
Yeah, and be careful of Alex Hansen also going in towards turn 1. He knows that that's his prime overtaking opportunity. We've seen him do work on some other AMGs previously in race number 1 and 2 of tonight, and we'll see him do it again. I'm certain of that. In case that AMG tries to go defensive on the inside line, Alex Hansen can late break on the outside line and really put the work in on that AMG. Hold him hostage there on the inside line, saying, you want it, you got it, baby, but then not letting him turn in as much as he wants wants to, or not letting him drift out a little too wide there. Elmer having a bit of a squirrely whirly moment there coming out of turn 11 and now going into the final chicane. It's going to be all neat and tidy, single file line for the 777, the 22, and the 390 of Alex Hansen.
George Elmer here. If I'm Alex Hansen, I'm just going to be waiting for George to make the move. I don't think I want to overtake Elmer, to be completely honest, if I'm Hansen. I want to use this AMG when he's going for the move on Vasquez to basically suck up to the back bumper there and not allow the BMW back in, because he knows he's quicker than George Elmer. And oh goodness, there's a little monkey see, monkey do there as well. Alex Hansen could have found a position for free, but he follows him off into the gravel, and that is one lap less of a move for George Elmer. He needed to get that corner perfect, because I'm pretty sure that's the corner that he's fixing to make it happen. It'll have to be turn 10 on this lap, but with one more to go, this is the penultimate lap tonight. Alex Hansen getting a little out of shape, but isn't going to affect him too much. And now Alex, he might just be saying, okay, well, clearly I don't think the AMG is going to get the overtake on Vasquez, so maybe I just go for one more. Why not?
For sure, it'll be this lap plus one more, and that'll be all she wrote, everybody. And there's a slow car. That'll be Jayasuriya going around, and that'll be it for them. And George Elmer getting a little bit squirrely there, coming through what I believe is turn 8 right now, and on the entrance towards turn 9, hopefully not kissing the sausage curb of death. And he does get a little bit of that taste, and he hopefully enjoyed that. But now he's right on the rear bumper of Luis Vasquez, 2/10 separating the two drivers, the 777 and the number 22, getting really close. Elmer is trying to go the long way around the outside of that BMW coming through turn 11, and it's all neat and tidy. There goes Alex Hansen trying to make a look, but got a little bit squirrely there on throttle. Tires finally fading away for some of these drivers coming into the last 25 seconds of the race. Leaders on the final lap, you already heard it there. Elmer's on the optimal line, chasing down Vasquez. No mistakes made by anybody right now between this trio.
George needs to chill. That is, he needs to, if he wants this overtake, he needs to relax here. He's overdriving the car clearly, and it's all about precision, getting that car placed perfectly on the exit here to slingshot yourself into the first corner. This is his last opportunity to do so. The inside's covered. He knows what line he has to take. He follows the slipstream all the way down, but he's not close enough, and he knows it. He's trying for the outside line, maybe to switch it back, but the BMW parks it in the center on the exit, leaving no way for the AMG to get by. The next opportunity, again, turn 10. That's the last chance, and to be honest, we haven't seen Elmer be in shape enough through that corner. I'm not sure he can get it done here. Vasquez might get out of this just by the skin of his teeth, but this is where we decide it. This is the moment as we go on the run through the S's down towards Shivelock. He's not close enough. Elmer needs to get closer, but he's too far back to make the thought or the look, and he's gonna have to concede that one, and it's gonna be down to a mistake now or an aggressive shove to the end. We're gonna tune up front right now with Ali Raza, our race leader, who's coming around the final corner, and he is going to take the victory here on the penultimate round of the Monday GT4 Open. JP Reed, he has enough done for second position here tonight. It says third. He must have just taken the position from Beachley. I think we missed that. JP Reed looking at a second place finish here for the Celsius Autosports Audi, and he takes the checkered flag. Justin Beachley behind in third.
Alex Hansen was able to get around George Elmer coming through turn 11, and that's going to be done and dusted. Vasquez, Hansen, Elmer, and Randy Gross, in fourth place. Vasquez leads Hansen, leads George Elmer. Battle for 5, 6, 7 has concluded, getting to the line for the final time. These drivers have put on an amazing show for us. Thank you so much for all their love and participation. Joshua Squirrely Whirly is going to finish it up for us in 9th place, behind Professor Carnotis, and Alex Freeman rounds out our top 10 tonight.
And that will conclude the penultimate round of the GT4 Open. Alex Hansen takes the in-class victory for the red plates. Dr. Porkchop in second and Grush in third. But what a race. What a battle. Zandvoort, obviously not the, we weren't expecting full side-by-side melees throughout the entire race. It is Zandvoort. That's just not the nature of the track. But still, all around, some very entertaining racing in the GT4 Open here tonight. And the rookies, I think, really the stars of the show when it comes down to it, even in the Open.
Absolutely. Putting on a great show for us and being out of their position as well has been some of the most exciting racing. Alex Hansen has produced amazing 3 races for us of excitement. Thank you very much to him for putting on an amazing show. And I'm sure that's all credit to all the track guide videos that he's watched with Amadeo Castorina for sure as well.
Certainly will help. Now, as we have it, let's get on in here for our interviews tonight. And starting us off, I'll bring us in with Justin Beachley. Justin, finishing in 3rd tonight for the number 18. Did you just get overtaken at the very end by JP Reed? I think we missed that.
No, actually, it's quite the opposite. He came out ahead of me in the pit after the pit stop. He's about 5 seconds ahead of me. And what you saw was me catching up at the end there. So it was a pretty sweaty last few laps for sure, but just couldn't quite get close enough to go for an overtake, but I'll definitely take 3rd place.
Yeah, you gave him a run for his money at the very end there with the 8/10 gap to the line, but JP Reed, I mean, consistent as ever in his tire wear. That's the one thing that I just don't understand on how JP in an Audi managed to keep such good care of his tires over the rest of the pack. I mean, you yourself, I know, are one of the experts in that field, but was the AMG, was that a bit of a struggle to manage here tonight at Zandvoort? I know the lefts were probably screaming.
Honestly, in the practice server, I did a bit of a race run, and the wear, at least in the first stint, really wasn't that bad. So, honestly, it was just a matter of, adjusting braking points a little bit and just managing pressures, which was an issue. I like to attack the curbs a little bit, maybe a little bit too much. Both right sides were experiencing some pressure loss, but really didn't affect me that much. I don't know what JP's tire wear was like, but I did see him slide a couple times in front of me, so maybe they weren't quite as good as the AMGs, but I think between some of the blue flags and stuff, it was just a matter of a second or two here and there, and that was the difference between P2 and P3, but it was a great race.
Absolutely was. And Justin, before we move on here tonight, is there anybody that you would like to thank?
I'm going to thank you too. I didn't, obviously watch the stream, but I'm sure you guys did a great job as always. Always appreciate y'all being able to stream and carry these races for us. So thank you guys. And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Justin Beachley, 3rd place finisher here tonight, and going to be looking to take it to the final race. We'll see what you can do. Good luck, Justin.
Thanks, guys.
Next up, I think we will have Saagar catching up with both JP Reed and Ali Raza, but first off, we are going to start off with Mr. JP Reed himself.
JPR, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, not so bad at all. How are you?
I'm living the dream. Thank you very much. You had a pretty exciting race and an amazing showcase for us to watch. You were coming out of the pit lane just right behind Ali Raza, and you had a great battle there with Justin Beachley towards the end. Talk us through your race.
It was a bit of an interesting one, mostly because in the last day I've been having some interesting connections with my ISP, so you probably noticed throughout the stream that I was sort of here and not here. So it was a really interesting battle with Beachley at the end, but I don't think he had a fair chance to properly fight me because I was probably pinging around a little bit. But I wasn't sure if Beachley took tires or not, and I couldn't afford to take tires in the stop, and he had a really strong second stint. As soon as I saw Ali out and realized I'd caught up to him in the pit stop, I knew he'd taken tires, and then that gap he blew out in the second stint, there was no chance of being anywhere near there. But it was nice and close in the first stint. Difficult track, but fun race.
At any given point, do you think that you're going to beat out Ali Raza during a pit stop cycle and try to do an overcut and not take tires to gain that track position?
That was sort of my hope for the race, but this track really exposes a lot of my inconsistencies. So there were some laps early on in the race where I was more or less matching lap for lap with Raza, which is, fantastic. I'm really stoked with that. But those every other lap where I'd drop a 4/10 here or 5/10 here just meant that I was sort of out of the window for that to really come into play.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much for talking us through your race. Really appreciate it. And hope you enjoy watching this one back. Is there anybody that you want to thank or anything else you want to mention before we let you go and we talk to Ali Raza?
No, I think all the usual thanks to everyone in the Trackulicious community, yourself as the commentators, not Eric, but everyone else but Eric. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you, Trackulicious, and everyone who participated in the race.
Well deserved. Thank you very much, JPR. Love you, and thank you very much for all the support that you give to the Trackulicious team. Have a great night, and remember to stay safe, brother.
Thank you, you too.
That was JP Reed, second place finisher, everybody. And last but not least, certainly, it is the Razzle Dazzle Ali Raza.
Razzle Dazzle, are you there, brother?
Welcome. Hi, everyone.
Holy smokes!
Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for being here in the broadcast booth with us. Talk us through your race. It was a pretty silent but deadly one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, JP was pretty close to me, so I thought he was gonna stick with me. But then I think I got at least a 6-second gap by the time I had to pit. So I was like, okay, let's just change tires. But turned out they didn't change tires, so that worked out.
Nice. Was that your strategy all along, or were you just monitoring the gaps to determine if you wanted to take tires or not?
This track, especially, I think I still would have changed tires, even if I would have been behind somebody. It's just really tough on tires, and looking at the times, I ended up pushing through much further because of it.
For sure, you did. And an amazing race that you ended up having. Pretty silent but deadly. I believe you've confirmed yourself as the championship leader right now and the championship winner mathematically. Any words that you like to say about that?
Really? So if I don't race next one, I win? Or no?
I wouldn't confirm that, but I think so.
Yeah. Mathematically, if you are staying where you are right now, I believe you have a 60-point lead against Justin Beachley, but that's not saying that Justin Beachley can't pip one on you.
Right. Okay. Good to know.
And your last drop round being a 7-round drop round, I guess I can't put all the marbles in that one basket.
You have mathematically sealed it then if that's the case. Yeah, that's fair.
So,
Okay.
Any words that you'd like to share on that, Ali Raza, Razzle Dazzle?
No, man. Thank you. It was a really good championship. In the beginning, I know Danny Bazin was here. Had some good fights with him. But then after that, I think he left. So then it was just smooth sailing from there.
Right on it.
Thank you guys for putting on a show and for everyone watching.
Well, thank you very much for putting on a show for us, Ali Raza. If it wasn't for all the drivers, we'd have nothing entertaining to keep us going for this last 45-minute race or the 3 hours that we've been broadcasting. So thank you very much for participating, and thank you very much for putting on a show for us all season long. We look forward to watching you in the final round of this championship at the Nordschleife, or excuse me, not Nordschleife, the Nürburgring.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Ali Raza. Have a good one, brother.
Thank you. You as well.
Awesome. That is going to do it for us tonight. Saagar, is there anything that you'd like to say before we do wrap up, as you said, this long 3-hour stream?
No, just as everyone should know, please, as always, stay safe. Thank you very much for joining us, whether you're in chat, lurking, or watching, or being a driver. Thank you very much for all the love and support you guys give to the Tracklicious team.
Absolutely. And from that and on that note, I've been Mike Nause, Saagar Bakshi alongside me for this one. I hope everybody has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning. Wherever you are in this fine world, we are going to be raiding. Let's do that before I forget. We are going to raid Daniel Gray 10. He's going to be racing over on iRacing, so definitely go check him out. But on that, I hope everyone has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.